Okay, our next story. Let's see if a prank happens here. This comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for calling the police on my coworker over a prank? I, a 25-year-old woman, just started this new job as a front desk clerk at a hotel. I work the overnight shift. I usually have a coworker, a 30-year-old man, with me, but he never really talks to me. A few nights ago was my first night alone. At around 2 a.m., I noticed a person in the parking lot. You can see the parking lot from the front desk. The lighting in the lot is terrible, so you don't really see faces until they get close to the lobby door. The person was just standing there, not moving, for about 5 to 10 minutes. I thought this was strange, and of course it creeped me out. After about 10 minutes of them standing there, they moved. I guess to call the front desk because he moved his hand to his ear and the phone rang. I picked up, and on the other end I just heard, 5 buried, none found, in a low voice, and then they hung up. At this point, I was terrified, so I ran to the back room and called 911.
Oh my God.
I explained to the operator about what had been going on, and they sent a couple cops to the hotel. When they arrived, one cop was talking to the person outside, and the other one was at the front desk talking to me, telling me that the person outside was claiming that he also worked here. I was confused, but I also admitted I hadn't seen the person's face, just the silhouette. At this point, the other officer and the person from the lot come in, and it turns out to be my coworker, and he was upset, saying he would have never pranked me if he knew I was going to call the police and try to get him arrested. I didn't go through with pressing charges, but I did tell my manager what happened the next morning. It's been a few days now, and I guess he had told other coworkers what happened, and now no one is really speaking to me and giving me a bit of an attitude. I feel like I took it a bit too far with calling the police. Am I the asshole?
Whoa.
What?
That's insane.
This person who you've not talked to, you're gonna call them and say some weird, cryptid, freaky ass shit.
While they're on the job doing what they should do. Does that make sense? Like, it's actually wild to make this person feel like they did the wrong thing by calling the cops.
Right.
When I think if you're doing overnights at a hotel, you should report sketchy behavior.
Yes, because it's an entire premises of innocent people, and a phone call just came in alluding to serial murder.
Like, it would be bad if you didn't make that call. And now you're like, I shouldn't have made that call because it was a joke?
What did he think would happen? She'd go like this.
Yeah.
And just like run around.
And like her shirt falls off and it's a fun movie.
That's also like
shirt falls off.
5 buried, none found is like an extremely weird thing to say. Like that goes beyond. I'm kind of shocked that once the coworker came in, she's like, oh, it's just my coworker. Once he came in, I'd be like, yeah, he's the killer.
My
like,
coworker
oh my
is
God, I
Ted
think
Bundy.
I wouldn't be chill yet, yeah.
What
Ted Bundy style.
It's giving
hell?
like another non-prank. It's like, I think pranks are similar to what you said about jokes, where like, it's like non-funny people say mean things when they're trying to be funny because it's easier to be mean than to be funny.
Right.
True.
And it's showing this, where it's like, with roasts, you could tell when someone's like really good at them because it's like a well-written joke versus just a roast that's mean.
Yeah.
And like this prank is not well thought out because it's just mean. Like what you're creating to happen is just panic and fear, and that none of those are funny.
Verdict, not the asshole. Comments. Not the asshole, your coworker was trying to scare you on purpose, and now he's angry that you did what any reasonable person would have done under the circumstances. OP responded saying, yeah, my boyfriend thinks that my coworker was trying to scare me so I would quit my job, and because it backfired, everyone is annoyed with me. Haha.
What?
Someone else said, not the asshole. If I were you, I'd follow up with HR and make a formal complaint. It's hardly appropriate for a grown man to harass a younger woman who is alone at night, no less, and terrify her for his own enjoyment. Pranks are supposed to be funny, yeah?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, additionally, to then go tell the rest of the staff that she was the asshole in the situation and now has impacted her work relationships with everyone there. Like I think that's also, it's like retaliatory. So I think she absolutely should go to HR.
I wonder what story he spun, because if someone was like, yeah, so I went out to the parking lot so that I looked really creepy, and then I called her and I said 5 buried, none found. And I'd be like, hey man, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I'm with you on this one.
I'm sad. I'm like, how does no one see through this?
Us at the bar just being like, oh, dude, and she didn't think that was hilarious? Bro, women, I don't understand them.
So yeah, I took a couple laps around the parking lot, made her look super sketchy.
Yeah, I stood out there under the lamplight so that she could only see my silhouette.
Oh my
and couldn't
God,
make out
I
my
was
face.
laughing so hard. She would have been. You guys
was
would have
really
been dying.
great.
I was like farting like a loser, and I'm walking around. and then,
Farting like a loser. Okay, so hold on. She says, A few nights ago was my first night alone. At around 2 a.m., I noticed a person in the parking lot. That means he was off work.
He called off work to do this.
He went to work when he was off work just to scare her. Can you imagine?
2 in the morning?
Could you imagine? Like, there's no prank in the world where I would show up to work on my day off.
And scare a woman in the middle of the night? Oh, a woman in a vulnerable position trying to guard the whole hotel of sleeping people.
Yeah, real.
So funny. That dude needs a fucking personality.
He was like, dude, it was peak comedy what I did.
Dude, I really hope she understands the fact that I have a crush on her. No. It's giving that. I'm like, enjoy your night off. Go play video games.
Last comment. Agree with everyone here so far, not the asshole. First of all, it's his night off and this is his activity of choice.
Yes.
Take up knitting or something, bro. Not menacing women in the middle of the night, then being pissed about the consequences. What if a guest at the hotel had seen this? It doesn't matter if you did or didn't see his face. You did what you should have done in this situation, especially with the phone call. That's menacing, mean, and messed up. I've stayed at many hotels alone on work travels, and one time, late at night, I was on my balcony, which faced a parking garage, and I noticed these two guys taking photos of me. I asked them to stop, they didn't. So I called the front desk, and the gentleman working that night took care of it by calling the cops and also standing outside facing the garage in the meantime. I was so appreciative, even though I felt bad about the cops coming, which I shouldn't have, and neither should you. My point is, as the front desk clerk, you're responsible for guest safety, but you can't take care of your guests if your own safety is in jeopardy, and regardless of whether or not you have in-house security, you did the right thing. He's an idiot and an asshole, and so is anyone you work with who thinks you were in the wrong. Again, as a guest, I'd hope that the people I call for help would do exactly what you did. If there's no harm, then there's no foul, but better to be safe than sorry. I fear what your coworkers would have done in the situation I was in.
Yeah, that's true.
You were saying, like, when people don't know how to be funny, they just go for mean. It's also like, she said, like, he never really talks to me. This is a guy who clearly does not know how to interact with women. So this is his only instinct. He's like, I don't know how to say hi to her, so I'm just gonna freak her the out.
I actually figure he's into her.
That's what I'm saying.
Some weird, like
you're in elementary school and all you know is how to scare someone.
Like, whoa, bud, wrong door to enter in. I don't know what you think you're doing. Especially what really irks me now, ever since we went back to it being her first night alone, really makes me mad because like that's so scary.
Yeah, it's like real. I've seen stories of women who are like, I have to work the middle of the night shift at the gas station I'm at. My boyfriend is literally so nice to like hang out in the parking lot while I do my shift, because you got to just be aware of the world right now, and like that's
you're 100%
that
right.
is a situation that he should be more aware of.
Right. Oh.
Icky.
All right, another not prank.
Yeah.
Crime?
Yeah. Another prank. Another someone's rights being violated, but with a silly prank hat on.
I actually think I'm glad she called the cops because I'm nervous about this guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, who knows what he was doing. He did show up to work on your night alone when he wasn't supposed to be at work.
Yeah.
That is odd behavior. I'm scared of this guy. If I were her friend, I'd be like, you should quit that job because I don't trust this guy.
Yeah, I don't trust him. It's like how going to small claims court felt dramatic to the person, but it isn't.
No,
it's just using that person's actions and being and like holding them accountable to their actions. Where it's like, oh, you like messed up with you hurt me. I'm gonna do this about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you scared me. I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah. No, it goes back to what we were saying of like, he did technically harass her. It's not a prank. You can't just say it's a prank and that didn't happen. It's like, no, you were in the parking lot being creepy, calling her, saying some weird shit about bodies. That is all just factual. You were doing that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what the intent was because you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my paranoid ass can't go, like I can't help but think, if he's willing to say some weird shit like that, who knows what he said to the rest of the staff?
Yeah.
If he actually was trying to like begin his serial killer era and then she just like ruined it.
What do you mean 5 buried, none found? Like,
Bodies.
I know,
like,
no, I get it, but like none
It's just weird.
Like the bodies disappeared?
He's saying no one
I
knows
buried 5 and none of them were
5 buried
found.
and none were found.
I don't know. I'm not going to try to
should
figure
give
this
notes.
guy out.
Yeah, honestly, we could do some punch-ups.
Yeah. Next story. This comes from relationships. Boyfriend's mom called my blind brother, a 25-year-old male, excess baggage. I, a 28-year-old woman, called her a piece of shit.
Yeah.
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 My brother is blind, has been since birth, and he lives with me. Not that he needs someone to take care of him, just living with me makes his life much easier, and I like it this way. He is pretty independent and has a great job and great future. I'm proud of him big time. Last month, we went to visit our parents back in our home country. We live in Europe, but we are from East Asia. My boyfriend is from here. So on the way back, my parents filled our luggages with stuff, gifts, food, etc. At the airport, we had to pay some excess baggage charges. Last night, I was at my boyfriend's parents, and I was chatting with his parents and sister. Boyfriend wasn't in the room when these all happened, so he didn't see anything firsthand. They asked about my trip and all, and I said it was all good except that we had to pay a lot for excess baggage, which was unexpected. She started laughing, which made everyone wonder. My boyfriend's dad asked what's so funny. She said that she just can't stop appreciating the irony that excess baggage had to pay for excess baggage. I didn't get it at first. Nobody did. But she clarified that your brother is like an excess baggage on you. You took him on a trip and had to pay excess baggage on the excess baggage as well. It's like double dipping, just the other way around. I wanted to punch her in the face, but restrained myself, just told her that she's a piece of shit, apologized to the sister and dad, and came out. Texted my boyfriend that I had to leave and we'll talk tomorrow. He came out and we talked a bit about what happened. He offered to go back in there and try to sort things out, but I refused. I told him that he's heard my side, so go in there and hear them out as well, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow. We haven't talked since, but we will tonight. Knowing him, I guess he will suggest some way to sort things out and make peace, but I don't think I'd want to, even if she agrees to apologize.
What?
Oh my God.
What was that comment? Like, it wasn't even like that.
It's furthermore
good.
to like say something so awful, and then when someone's like, what'd you just say? To be like, oh, so what I was doing was insulting your blind brother.
Yeah. Just doubling down. Let me explain.
I was referring to him kind of like luggage, you
Yeah.
know? Like
Excess
not a
baggage.
you know, like not a human.
Yeah. Anyways, pass the potatoes. What are we doing here,
Dude,
lady?
oh my God. Oh, God.
Did she have a couple glasses of wine? Like, what's happening here?
I like genuinely don't even know what to say to that. To like refer to someone, like to the person, like this is your brother that I'm talking about, and I'm saying these awful things. And you're like, wait, I don't think I get what you're saying. You're like, no, I'm saying, like, I'm insulting him very deeply. Like, this is awful.
Yeah, like, dude, read the room. Like, I can't imagine saying a joke of that nature, but it's like saying a joke and you go, oh, you get that response. You go, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said that. But like, not even that.
No.
She's like, oh, let me keep going.
Clearly, the mom has wanted to say something for so long. She's probably in bed with her husband. She's like, I'm going to say something about this brother, which is like insane. And then she says it in the weirdest way possible.
And she clearly says it in a way where she's like, this is like a deep down belief.
Exactly.
And we all agree on this, right? That your brother is just excess baggage. Like, it's not.
Do you think the son talks about it with them?
Oh, I guess we don't technically know. I'm not
I
getting
don't
that
think
from
so,
this.
but like, I wonder if he was surprised because if he's already going to like, let's work this out mode.
But yeah, the work this out mode, it's like, he's saying we could go back in there, somebody to sort things out. See, if I'm the boyfriend, it's like, no, you go in there by yourself and you confront your mom, and because that is on another level, and she shouldn't have to go in there and face that.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time believing that the mom just suddenly said something so awful. You know,
That's why I'm wondering if-
that is so awful, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Was the boyfriend surprised? Like, I'm wondering.
he's not sounding like horrified by this.
Also, if she immediately said you're a piece of shit, I feel like if this was so out of pocket for the mom to say, if I was in her position, I'd be so stunned.
You're right.
I would be like,
Because
I wouldn't know what to say because it's shocking.
when someone says something out of character,
Yeah.
you don't respond
No.
in
Yeah.
a way because you're kind of like, wait, you're trying to like compartmentalize or figure out
Yeah.
and make it all make sense. But the fact that she did respond so quickly saying you're a piece of shit means it's like,
Yeah.
What has she said in the past?
yeah.
It seems like a case of like the family just being like, that's just mom, you know, that's just mom out
Cheryl.
of pocket. Like,
God.
oh, there she goes again.
God.
Comments, I wouldn't say you did anything wrong. She should apologize. He's a fucking human being. Someone said, you didn't do anything wrong except lose your cool, but I think most of us would agree that's acceptable under the circumstances. Hopefully your boyfriend will handle the situation with her appropriately. OP left a comment saying she just posted a Facebook status update saying, My son's girlfriend called me a piece of shit because she disagreed with how I described what happened on a trip.
Facebook status.
That's
We're
crazy.
dealing with a
That's
different beast
awful
here.
behavior.
Yeah.
This is different.
Dude, going on Facebook to rip your son's girlfriend after calling her brother excess baggage because he's blind is crazy levels of delusion.
Yeah, Facebook status. This is a different beast. We have to approach this from a different place.
Yeah. We're dealing with a kaiju here.
Oh no.
Okay, update.
Oh, let's go.
The next day, I foresee we're about to see even the greater depths of hell from this lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we've even scratched the surface on how awful she
Someone's going to make a Facebook group, and it's going to be bad.
God. Okay, this is the next day. She posts this the next day. Okay, this isn't good. I didn't realize it's a full moon. She's gone full beast.
Oh, my God.
In case you missed it, yesterday she posted a message on Facebook explaining an edit in yesterday's post. So I talked to my boyfriend last night. He acted as I suspected he would. He suggested that it was a moment of madness. She started it, and I responded. We're both at... Okay, hold on. He acted as I suspected he would. He suggested that it was a moment of madness. She started it, and I responded. We're both at fault, and we can both apologize and move on from this.
That's such a funny way to put it. It was just a moment of madness.
The moon is out. Her
She
claws.
went mad.
Oh, my God.
This is bad.
Yeah, you know, she doesn't think blind people are people, and you called her a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So hard to gauge there.
Come on, be people, guys.
Sorry, no way after her post on Facebook. We had a long discussion. He doesn't want to take a side. All of these are besides the fact that she doesn't even want to apologize. I'm very disappointed in him. His dad called me yesterday as well, apologized for the mom's comment, and said that she wasn't speaking on behalf of everyone there, and that they found her comments to be very inconsiderate as well. I also apologized to the dad for the way I reacted, but he said it wasn't necessary. His sister called as well. She said it's not the first time she's making comments like that about disabled people, and she said she's ashamed. I decided not to engage in a social media piss war and stayed out. But while the mom's friends were commenting like, the young don't know how to respect these days, the sister commented that, Mom, you left out what you said to her first, kind of proving her point. Please put this down and stop. A few hours later, the post was gone.
W sister, W dad, why did the boyfriend kind of sucks here?
Boyfriend kinda sucks.
Boyfriend let her down hard.
Yeah.
Saying you're both at fault. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, dude.
The boyfriend is enabling the mom, and the fact that the dad and the sister had to like support the girlfriend and the boyfriend's not.
Dude. And that comment is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And it was a comment, it was like, oh, she said something, you responded. It's like, your mom said something, and then doubled down and explained what she meant by it.
Yeah.
Like, this was not a moment of whatever. This was a fully thought out thing.
Yeah.
The sister's now agreeing, like, oh, she's horribly ableist and says horrible shit all the time.
It's awful.
So yeah, I'm disappointed in my boyfriend. If he had the balls of his sister, he'd been great, but sadly he doesn't. His dad and sister stood up to the mom and he didn't. I never make a decision impulsively, so I didn't break up with him, although I'm leaning towards that decision. I just need to think, and any advice to this is also very welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
Say
that's
goodbye.
Yeah, you gotta...
very
You live with your
telling.
brother, you love your brother, it's going well, it's incredible that they have that relationship, regardless if he's blind or not. Like, it's amazing that you have that close relationship. The mom is never going to change, and it sounds like the boyfriend isn't going to stick up for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, the boyfriend has to know her brother.
The brother lives there with OP.
sister.
So like, yeah, they hang out all the time.
Yeah.
And
and
it's
for
so
him to-
disrespectful to the brother.
Holy crap,
Yeah.
bro.
To like know the brother, like probably like very intimate, like know him really well, and then be like, I mean, you both are kind of at fault here. Like, that's
No.
insane.
Dude. Wow.
She's attacking him for something that is not in his control whatsoever.
Calling her a piece of shit is like kind of going light on her
I
too.
agree.
It's like, dude, when someone says something of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay, some comments. OP, in response to another comment, said he always believes in keeping the peace between people and finding compromises to work things out no matter what. Sometimes, though, keeping the peace is just siding with the bad
That's
person.
a nice way of saying he's a pushover.
He doesn't do anything, yeah.
Yeah.
someone responded, in that case, I think you explained to him in no uncertain terms how much his mother hurt you and how much he hurt you by not sticking up for you.
Yeah.
Let him know that when he said nothing, it was as good as agreeing with her. Maybe, just maybe, he'll see where he's gone wrong and change, but if not, I guess you have your answer. His reaction to this doesn't seem so much about keeping the peace as being scared to stand up to someone. There's a big difference between those two things. Keeping the peace would have been, Mom, come on, that's out of line and you know it. Apologize so we can all get past this. Not silence. Whew.
Such a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, even with the mom apologizing, it sounded like OP was still ready to be like, I don't know if I want to like make peace here, like even if she does apologize. So like, yeah, the fact that he was like, well, maybe you should just both say sorry.
I think at this point, though, I wouldn't believe any apology from the mom.
I agree.
The mom
yeah,
is not
100%.
sorry at
What
all.
she said is deeply offensive.
Yeah, she went to Facebook afterwards. So that's the nail.
Once you go to Facebook,
Once you go to Facebook, it's done.
it is done.
You're telling me you post on Facebook all the time and you're ableist? What a strange.
That's so bizarre.
In other news, water is wet.
Relationship advice. This is a 34-year-old woman. My husband, who's 30, said I wasn't attractive enough to cheat on him. Question mark. My husband said I wasn't attractive enough to cheat on him? My husband is gorgeous. Everybody says so. I consider myself pretty, but unremarkable. My features aren't exactly supermodel material, but I do the best I can with what God gave me. I have nice skin thanks to skincare, a decent body thanks to the gym, and so on. But compared to my husband, I might as well be a troll. Even my own mom thought my husband must be gay and in the closet or hiding sketchy things because of how much more attractive he is than me. It's the first thing people notice when we're out. I've had women flirt with him right in front of me and have had 2 girls I know try to get with him behind my back. I even question why he's with me sometimes. I'm insecure about it, but my husband has always said that he loved me and thought I was beautiful and did not listen to other people. Yesterday changed everything. I bumped into an old boyfriend from college. We parted on good terms, and it turns out he's doing very well for himself in his career. I'm looking to change jobs, and I'm pretty decent at what I do. We exchanged LinkedIns. There was nothing inappropriate about our conversation, and I would have no problem if my husband was there to hear it. My husband started an argument the minute I came home. He said he read through my LinkedIn message and swore my ex was flirting with me. I said he wasn't. My husband then made fun of my ex's looks, and it was some of the cruelest things I've ever heard him say. I told him to stop and that we could talk when he wasn't acting this way. He asked if I would cheat on him if that guy became my coworker. Then he scoffed and said, "You're not attractive enough to cheat on me, not enough to keep me." I was speechless. He then slammed the door to our bedroom and locked me out for the night. I went to sleep on the sofa and woke up tucked into bed. I can vaguely remember him waking me up. Today he was incredibly sweet and kissed me before going off to work. I can still remember the play-by-play of what happened, but it's like my memory was outside of my body. I have literally never heard him say something like that, ever. I feel so upset and uncomfortable. What should I say to him? How do I just ask him what he was thinking and what possessed him to say the things he did, and if he really meant them?
Holy
Okay.
First of all, I feel so horrible for this woman who has, on paper, like such low self-esteem, either from
Right.
this incident or from whatever. Like,
A troll? Like,
Yeah.
girl, you got clear skin, banging bod, and somehow you bagged this guy? Like, obviously you're attractive.
hear me out. The way that this guy reacted to this, I think he is probably cheating on her. Because he's like, that huge reaction of like, oh, well, like, I don't know. And like, are you projecting? Like, what's this extreme jealousy all of a sudden?
I mean, it certainly, from my end, it feels like it comes from just pure insecurity.
Oh, absolutely.
Of him like immediately being like, oh, well, yeah, you're right, you're not even attractive enough. And then
Right.
he like went to his room, locked the door,
Like a little boy,
like a
yeah.
little man child. And then in the morning is like, bye, babe.
Like, sorry.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
My immediate take was, as insecure as she might come across in these first paragraphs that she writes, it's very clear to me by his reaction that he's far more insecure
Yeah, absolutely.
than she is. And it's an interesting thing that I've noticed, you know, being in LA where there's just the hottest people you've ever seen in your entire life, right?
Right.
And an interesting thing is that a lot of the most attractive people you know are the most insecure
Yes.
about their looks. And I had it explained once, and it was that, because their entire life, they're made to feel like their looks are kind of everything. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so attractive, that if at any moment they feel they don't have that, then they have nothing.
Their entire worth is
Their
gone.
entire worth is in their appearance. Whereas
Right.
anyone who doesn't feel that's the case growing up, they then have worth in every other way.
Exactly.
But it seems clear to me that this guy has gotten used to so much attention
Absolutely.
that he's actually deeply insecure as a weird reverse reaction to it. You'd think you hear compliments your whole life, you're gonna think you're the best,
Right.
which is true, but it also creates this opposite aspect
Internal
to it.
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
No, that is so fascinating because that theory that you brought up, like it seems to be the case here, right? Because he kind of brought up the attraction thing kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was like these messages and he was saying that he was flirting and whatever. And then out of nowhere, it was like, well, yeah, you're not even attractive enough to cheat
Yeah.
on me. So it seems like that is the only thing on his mind is appearance.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true. And it's very much a control tactic to be like, to put her down so she doesn't think she's good enough to
Which
do
is
that.
perhaps why he felt like he was a part of this relationship, so that he could feel superior to her.
True.
Right. I mean, just a devastating. It almost doesn't matter to me when you say something like that and then don't apologize to it. It's like, who cares if he's cheating on you? Like someone who says that to you
That's, yeah.
and doesn't apologize,
Right.
That's
Or-
not worth sticking
And
around
again,
for.
no, it's too.
How you kind of behave after that too. Like you can apologize, but like locking somebody out of the room and kind of that kind of behavior, it's like you might be able to be like, sorry, like my bad, I was in a different headspace or whatever.
Right.
But the other person is going to remember that.
Right,
They're
right.
not going to
Exactly.
remember. They're not going to forget how you made them feel.
Right.
Right.
And that's always going to be floating in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, and looks fade, but that piss poor attitude will stay around. So
Fucking
Absolutely.
got his ass.
it is such a huge red flag for someone to do something so horrible, say something so horrible, and then a moment, an hour, a day later, pretend like it never happened.
Right.
Right.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah. It makes you feel like, did I overreact?
Yes.
Like as the person who, like, if something happens to you, you're like, wait, was it maybe not as bad as I thought because now they're acting so chill about it?
Right.
Or yeah,
It's
I don't know.
it feels like a
trips your
form of
mind out.
gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, was I not there? Did I make that up? Was I maybe half asleep? Like, did I misinterpret these messages? Like,
Right.
makes you question everything that happened for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you love someone for a certain amount of time and you have this trust and stuff, then you kind of default to, well, you're my partner, so I'm gonna, trust in you that you're in the same reality I'm in.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. It betrays that like safety, that sense of like, I trust you to tell me when things are real or when I'm off or when something
Right.
is off, and now no longer.
It also it denies what the relationship's supposed to be, which is like a teamwork thing.
Right.
Where it's like, hey, if we have a disagreement, if we're upset at each other, that's our problem together. And I don't get to just move on and leave you there.
Yes.
Like we have to both be in it
Completely
and
agree.
figure it out together. And he knows it's his fault, but that's why he's trying to just
Yeah, he's trying to
bounce
dismiss it.
off.
Talk about a mattress baguette.
He's such a mattress baguette, dude.
Seriously. I think we're gonna get something going
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna make it happen.
This first comment is a doozy. As a therapist who has worked with some couples impacted by infidelity, I'm going to tell you two things. One, there is no pretty privilege when it comes to infidelity. Attractive people get cheated on every day. Unattractive people cheat every day too. So your husband's stance that you're not attractive enough to cheat on him and that he's safe because he's attractive is nonsense. Two, your husband knows you. He knows your insecurities and he knows what buttons to push. He knows you struggle with self-confidence and he saw that opportunity to poke at your soft spot and he went right on ahead and jabbed at it anyway. Part of marriage is being vulnerable with your partner about our insecurities, and he took that and had zero hesitation to use that against you in an argument. To me, that says a lot about a partner. The wound he created with his careless words is twofold. Not only are you questioning the attraction between the two of you, but you're also questioning the ability to be vulnerable with your own husband about your insecurities going forward.
Therapist on Reddit.
Yeah,
Right.
rock on.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Although when a therapist is on Reddit, I go, can I trust you?
That 13-year-old really whipped that up. They're gonna believe that.
That was incredible, though. That was
It's
really good.
incredibly
Yeah.
poignant.
Yeah.
Someone else commented, mask slipped. Lastly, someone said, no man who truly loves and cares for you would say something like that to you, especially over something like that. He was jealous, which can be understandable, but took absolutely zero time to listen to your side or even let you give any further explanation. I think, it's so hard to admit, and it's a scary thing to admit, but I think in a relationship, especially if you're married, you just have to have that trust and comfortability to be honest if you're feeling any sort of insecurity or jealousy.
Yeah.
That those feelings are fine. It's how you handle them that's the problem.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, should I go with this job? It's just like, if he was just like, I feel weird because he was your ex and I know that it's fine. And then she would probably have responded with, oh, dude, like, don't worry about it. We
Don't
can talk
worry.
about this.
Yeah. Nobody hooks up over LinkedIn.
But instead, he went right to that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah.
Big oof.
That's a bummer too, because I was hoping, like, when I first was listening to the story, I was like, oh, it seems like obviously he thinks she's very beautiful. He is very attracted to her.
He's married to her.
Right. But it's clear that it's actually just a power dynamic and he wants it that way to where he feels more attractive than her.
Right.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see them in person too, because this is her self-assessment.
Yeah.
And yes, she's talking about examples with her husband, but it's just interesting because there are plenty of people who just, their self-image is so different from reality
Right.
that you don't really know what's going on.
So we should comment. As a therapist, send pic.
as a
As a therapist, send pic.
Send pic.
My best friend, who's 23, a 23-year-old woman, did something horrible at a mutual family friend's wedding and blamed it on my younger sister, who's 19. I am considering cutting ties with her, but am having a hard time. Okay.
Let's go. Meaty one.
Hi, Reddit. This is a bit of an unusual situation, but I'll try to explain it as best I can. The story involves myself, 24-year-old woman, my best friend Caroline, 23-year-old woman, and my younger sister Nicola, 19-year-old woman, and our mutual friend / groomsman Daniel, who's 28. Using real names because I know Caroline doesn't use Reddit, and if anyone who witnessed this happens to see this, I'd love for them to get the actual facts of the story.
Whoa.
So over the weekend, a very good family friend of both my family and Caroline's family was getting married. Caroline and I have been best friends for years. We met when we were toddlers. Our moms are best friends. Our sisters are friends, etc. You get the picture. We knew that both of our families would be invited to this wedding, and we were both looking forward to it for months. It's important to note that Caroline's family and my family have a ton of mutual friends, and this was going to be a very large wedding. Guest count was in the 500s.
Why would you do that?
That's a carnival, not a wedding.
Carnival.
That's the Super Bowl!
Oh my God.
Everything was going fine and dandy until Caroline got completely wasted. She kept talking to me about how hot one of the groomsmen, Daniel, was and how she'd had a crush on him for years, but he showed no interest. This was probably because he was in a serious relationship and had been dating his current girlfriend for 6 years.
Sorry. Sometimes I can't help but go,
The girlfriend decided not to attend this wedding because she didn't know the bride and groom very well, and because Daniel would be a groomsman, she wouldn't see him very much anyway. Fast forward a couple hours, and Caroline is hanging all over Daniel. She's constantly asking him to dance with her, get her drinks from the open bar, etc. She's point blank throwing herself at him, and it was embarrassing and painful to watch. I tried intervening a couple of times to get her off of him, but she snapped at me, and at that point, I decided that it wasn't my problem. Furthermore, Daniel wasn't completely pushing her away. He looked like he had a few drinks in him as well and seemed somewhat interested in Caroline. I decided that if he didn't care, I certainly wasn't going to. If he wanted to throw his relationship away, it was none of my concern. I tried. I didn't witness this next part, but by the end of the night, Caroline and Daniel were having sex in a different room of the hall. Yes, it escalated quickly. To their misfortune, someone, I'm not sure who, just that it was someone's mom who knew Daniel and his girlfriend, but didn't know Caroline, walked in on them, and for some reason, Caroline told this woman that she was Nicola, my sister. I don't know if she was embarrassed or drunk or what, but she purposely identified herself as Nicola so Caroline herself would not be in trouble. Word quickly spread that Daniel and Nicola were caught having sex, and Nicola was mortified. People were talking about how disrespectful, home-wrecking, rude, slutty Nicola was. I honestly can't even blame them. Had I not known better, I would be thinking the same things. On top of that, Caroline had gone around actually telling other people that it was Nicola and confirming the rumor she started. The bride and groom were pissed. Everyone was talking badly about my sister, and Caroline seemed to not care. In fact, when I confronted her about the situation at the wedding, she straight up denied it. Had Daniel not confirmed that it was Caroline he was hooking up with and not Nicola, I might have even believed her. The next day, Caroline texted Nicola a half-hearted apology about the whole thing, saying she was so drunk and didn't know what she was doing. The text included lots of lols and ha-has, so I'm not sure how seriously Caroline is taking the situation. She doesn't seem to realize how mortified Nicola is. Nicola genuinely thinks that her life is ruined. We live in a very tight-knit community, and a lot of people have heard the false version of what went down. I'm at odds with what to do. Up until this point, Caroline has been a very good friend to both I and Nicola. I'm just not sure if I can forgive her for this, especially considering her lack of consciousness about how bad the situation really is. Should I dump her or should I give her another chance? Our friendship will be different regardless. My family sees Caroline in a completely different light now. So even if I forgave her, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the same things we used to. Hang out at my house, do things with my family, etc. What should I do, Reddit? Reddit, I need your help.
That is so messed up. Because you know what she did? She blamed it on Nicola. Nicola is 19. Mr. Daniel, whatever, is 28. That's a gap. And also, like, and throwing her into that situation and all of these people ganging up on her being a homewrecker. She's 19.
Bro, it's so hard to be under 21 at a wedding that full of adults and to have that thrown at you. This was like some Shakespearean type of shit.
Literally.
Like literally you're having sex, someone catches you and you go, it was Nicola! And then and everyone's like, oh.
God.
Just the way that everyone just believed it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not to believe what you're being told, right?
But also believed it, and then it just seemed like everything was just on Nicola and not on the 28-year-old guy who's in a 6-year relationship.
And that's on the system.
It should be.
Let's
hit that.
And that's
it should be part of that story.
Yeah, that's the system, baby. That's the system. Be nicer to women.
Don't be her friend.
Don't be her friend.
Don't be her friend. That's fucking crazy.
To throw Nicola under the bus, like, that's so mean.
That puts her in a really dangerous position. Like, that was really dangerous. That was really unfair. That this is going to have long-lasting effects. And the fact that her apology was included, like, lols and ha-has.
She's like, I was so drunk.
No, that's you're calling up every single person at that wedding and telling them.
We're gonna cut your ass.
The Ghostbuster comes in.
We're Ghostbusting your ass, bitch.
If you blame it on being drunk, and then you're like, we woke up the next day and you're like, what did I do? Like, resolve the problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell everyone, no, it was me.
Fix this shit.
You ruined a lot of shit.
It's wild she got away with it, too.
I
Because
know.
a person caught them
Right.
and saw them.
Right.
And then somehow this rumor fully succeeded. And she was running around saying it.
Well, it's 500 people.
It's
It's impossible to keep
that's
anything.
right.
500 people drinking. I'm sure there was a carnival about, maybe a Ferris wheel.
Elephant?
Hard to keep
I forgot there was
wrangling rumors.
5,000 people at this
Yeah,
wedding.
Right.
so rumors
The
fly.
percentage of possibility of something crazy like that.
Yeah, we could have an atonement situation going on here.
I don't know what that means.
Atonement, it's a book and a movie that's really good.
A book in a movie?
But it's an accusation book. A lie, a false accusation
A book in a movie.
that has tragic
A book
consequences.
in a movie.
Okay. Comments. If Caroline wants to continue your friendship, she needs to make this right and tell everyone that she lied. If she doesn't, then I would personally cut ties. Being drunk is no excuse for what she did. I think Nicola needs to stand up for herself as well. She should be very clear with people that she would never do something like that. Tell her not to let someone else ruin her reputation. If Caroline won't set the record straight, Nicola, you and your family can. OP responds, thanks for the suggestion. I haven't actually considered asking Caroline to go public and own up to this situation. I think I'll do this. I actually have no idea how she will react. Caroline is usually a decently moral person, but she also hates confrontation. My family and I have been trying to set the record straight, but it's really hard to undo a rumor that is spread around to so many people, a lot of which we are not that close with. Mostly because nobody actually wants to talk about it to us directly. Most of the talk goes on behind our backs, but of course we know it's happening. Someone else said, Daniel's caught. Everyone knows he had sex. Can he just clear up which girl it is he f***ed? Regardless, I think your friendship is probably over. I'd go ahead and show those texts and tell your story. This is so humiliating for your innocent sister. Someone else said, people take a lot of pictures at weddings. Any chance there are pictures of Caroline hanging all over Daniel?
Yeah, like that's the
True.
proof. Like she herself had to pull Caroline off of this guy and she snapped at her. Like it's all there.
It should have been, it probably was obvious to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but there's 500 people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who just weren't seeing things.
It's just so
This could only
damaging.
happen at a 500 person.
Exactly.
Only.
Like, if you have under 100 people, everyone's gonna be like, no, we
No.
We all know
all
that.
saw it.
We all know who's who here. And like, it's just that kind of a thing being a rumor thrown on a girl can be like life ruining. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there are women who have had to change schools because of rumors like that that just get blown out of proportion.
Being
it's
19
really damaging.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. And to have that, it also at 19, you kind of like, I don't know, a lot of people just already are going through the struggle of like hating themselves.
Yeah, who am I? What's
And you have
Yeah.
a bunch of people now going, I can't believe you
You're
did this
a-
horrible
yeah.
thing.
If
And
there's-
even if you know you're innocent, there's a psychological aspect of enough people telling you did something.
Like, did I?
You're gonna feel like you did it, even if
Right.
you didn't. Okay, update.
Let's go, please.
Please.
Caroline has to get what's coming to her, right? But do we think it's photos? Do we think it's witness testimony?
Stones thrown at
Do we
her.
think Daniel throws her under the bus?
I don't think Daniel's gonna do anything.
No,
He hasn't done anything, he won't do anything.
Daniel's gonna be a waste of time. I think we
Right.
know that.
I think someone saw the Reddit post and gave an honest account of the experience.
Whoa.
Because remember, she didn't change names or anything.
Okay.
That would be crazy. I'm done.
I hope. It's just something.
Okay. So about a week and a half ago, Caroline casually called me and asked to sleep over. She wanted to attend an event downtown, and my place was much closer to the event than hers. At this point, it became very clear that Caroline had no idea anybody was upset with her, despite the fact that Nicola and I hadn't spoken with her since the wedding. I told Caroline that I didn't think her sleeping over was a good idea, and when she had asked why, I brought up what happened at the wedding. She laughed and said Nicola needed to grow up and get over it, and it really seemed like she expected me to agree and laugh along with her. Well, Reddit, I took your advice and let her have it. I told her how selfish and inconsiderate she was, and if it truly was no big deal, then she should have no problem taking full responsibility for her actions and publicly acknowledging that she was the one who hooked up with Daniel and not Nicola. I told her she needed to make things right because Nicola was still mortified over something she didn't do. At the end of the phone call, I gave her an ultimatum. Post an apology on Facebook and spill the beans about what actually happened, or our friendship was over, thanks to the Redditor who suggested this. To my complete and utter surprise, she did it. I thought it would make me feel better, but people were actually commenting on her Facebook status, commending her bravery and the fact that she did the right thing. I was super annoyed because of course she would never have done this had I not forced her to. But at the end of the day, Nicola is happy and her name is in the clear. Oh, and
That's
an
what
update on
matters.
Daniel and his
That's what
girlfriend.
matters.
According to his Instagram, they are happily together. Whether or not she knows about Caroline, I don't know and I don't care. Not my train wreck. How does she not know? It's public everywhere.
Oh my God, there's 500 people there.
What a weird whatever, as long as Nicola's fine. Like, I guess
Yeah.
that's the takeaway.
That is
It's a wacky world out there.
Yeah.
Hey, man, really awesome that you're owning up.
Oh my God, that's so
Hey.
brave
Yeah,
of you to
that's
tell
huge,
us
dude.
that.
Thanks for
Good job.
thanks for coming clean about that.
Nice.
All right, let's move on.
That's crazy.
That's so insane.
Well, Nicola's name has been cleared, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what's
not
important.
the end. That's not the update I was expecting at
No,
all.
no.
Me either.
It's very straightforward and whatever.
It is Facebook, after
I guess
all.
Facebook is the way to do it. I was like, how do you like publicly clear someone's name? I was like, is she gonna go door to door like campaigning like a congressperson? Like, what do you do in a city like that?
It's Facebook. You could post an AI image of whatever, and people will be like,
Toast.
"This is real."
Like, see, it
So-
was Nicola, and it's like, a
Yeah,
picture of them.
exactly. It's just the most awful AI image.
Uh,
Well, all right.
justice for Nicola was achieved.
Yeah, I still don't think I'd. That's hard to be friends with someone after they
No.
did that.
No, simply no.
Simply no.
These are some wild friends that people have out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's one thing to do that, do the quote unquote the home wrecking, but also like OP was trying to get her out of that situation, trying to pull her away from it, and this friend snapped at her.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what? Real people's masks are slipping. You know, that's kind of when you can see real
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like that's just on the smallest scale, and then she goes on to do bigger and bigger things. Like I just don't see any room to forgive someone like that, in my opinion.
For
Totally.
Sure. Well, good. Everyone was really disappointing this time.
Good.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Fun with you.
Does it say 36-year-old woman? My husband, who's 41, got fired for harassing a coworker and won't talk to me about it. My husband, Charlie, and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. We've had our ups and downs, but we are currently in an up. He has never done anything like this in the past, so it came out of left field for me, and I'm very much shocked and at a loss here. Charlie is a computer programmer and was a senior engineer at his former company, where he had worked for 4 years. He'd never had any trouble with coworkers, and were both friendly with a few of them, mostly other men and their wives. On Friday of last week, he came home around 11 a.m. and told me he'd been fired. He was really upset and agitated, and I didn't want to push him about it. But he told me that they'd said he was harassing a coworker and was fired. The information I've been able to get out of him. The coworker is Beth, a junior engineer who he's never mentioned to me before. He said she's terrible at her job. Beth slept with a senior engineer we are both friendly with, Darren. Darren wasn't involved in the harassment, wasn't fired, etc. The company's lawyers were there, and among the things they told him was that Beth could have pressed charges, but chose not to. Lastly, something happened with her car, but he won't say what. His exact words were, "There was something with her car." He was escorted off of the premises and is not allowed back in the building to get his belongings, and instead has to arrange with security to pick them up after business hours. As far as anything else goes, he won't give me any details. He isn't interested in seeing a lawyer because he says everything is legal. He has basically admitted to sending Beth some emails, but won't say what they said or anything like that. I don't know if Beth sleeping with Darren had to do with it, but the fact that he gave me that detail makes me think it does. I'm not sure how it relates. Darren is a very nice single man who is in his late 20s and approximately the same age as Beth. My mind is running wild here. Charlie has been depressed and withdrawn all weekend. Won't talk to me about it and won't talk much in general. I work remotely, so I was home all day with him, and he played video games all day and then went to bed at 6 p.m. The fact that he won't tell me anything and isn't interested in seeing a lawyer makes me think that it's bad, and makes me worry that everything is true and not just a misunderstanding or a small thing blown out of proportion. He has never been flirtatious with other women or cruel to them, and he's never said anything bad about other women engineers he works with. I don't know what to do here. My instinct is to be supportive of my husband, but I don't know what kind of behavior I'd be supporting. I don't want to run to his coworkers we know and ask them, since they're more our friends than my friends, and while we spend time together at get-togethers or bars, I'm not close with them. In an immediate sense, I don't know what to do about helping someone who is so depressed and won't talk to me. Okay, someone gets fired for harassment and they're not talking to you about it. That can only be horrible.
The husband's name is Charlie. Darren is
Guy
the coworker.
Beth slept with.
Yeah, so Beth,
yeah.
But Darren still works there. Darren didn't get fired.
No.
Darren is fine.
30 and he's single.
It's apparently Charlie harassed Beth so badly that he had to be escorted out of the building and isn't allowed back in the building until after hours.
Very bad.
Very bad.
But he's not he said it's not a crime what he did.
He's not asking for a lawyer. He's not getting a lawyer because he said everything is legal.
So it makes me think he wrote some disgusting, awful emails just making her feel awful.
Well, apparently she's not pressing charges, even though they say she could have.
This get crazy.
Okay.
What if he saw Beth and Dylan f***ing in the car?
Dylan?
They were f***ing Beth and Dylan.
Darren.
What if
You're
What
saying
if he saw Beth and Dylan?
What if they were
fucking
f***ing in the car? He took pictures and he sent it to her.
And been like, I know.
Because but that would still be against the law. That's why I'm like, him saying he can't go to jail makes me think it was just free speech.
Well, all of this, she could press charges, but maybe she's not pressing charges, but it's enough, it is harassment for him to get fired and to be taken seriously and not allowed back.
Well, it has to be like
something to do with
really
her car.
bad where
Something
he
to do
can't
with her
go in
car
there.
and emails.
Something to do with her car.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Right.
Yeah, there's something to do with her cars, and he said that he sent her some emails.
I wonder if
But he can't get in without security. Like, what
He's
did
not
he
allowed
do?
until after hours with security.
I mean, I believe he could have sent a very, very emotionally abusive email or emails, and Beth was like, I don't want to be in the same room as him. He threatened me.
But there's something to do with her car.
the car thing is, that's why I was
She
like,
parked in his spot?
I think your idea of him taking photos of them or something is a possibility.
Right.
and he used it against her because he didn't like her.
But either way, clearly what he did was against the law. She's just not pressing charges, fortunately.
But he's not
that also,
worried.
or fortunately for him, she's not pressing charges, which could also mean he is viewed as such a threat that she's
doesn't
not
wanna
pressing
get near
charges
him?
as a means of that could almost be a worse sign.
But him not lawyering up makes me think he just used his words and he's like, I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
That could be just a full egomaniac move of I don't need a lawyer. He's in denial so hard.
I think the wife is right in being like, what do I do here? But I think maybe giving him space for a day, sure. But it's also like I think she needs to press him a little bit. Like, what's
I was
going
going to say
on?
the same thing. I'd be like, I think I'd put my foot down a little bit.
Yeah, I would give him like a day or two to sulk and be like, but then I'd be like, no, what's going on?
Well, because this affects her.
Yeah.
Like if he did some really messed up stuff, this is going to affect her possibly on legal levels. It's going to
Financially,
it's affecting
like
them
all of it.
financially, and it could absolutely affect how people view you, your network, everything.
Yeah.
But if he's this type of person, he's clearly not caring about his wife. He's showing he doesn't care about her in this moment. But also, I can't imagine what it's like to be with someone for 10 years. Think you know them so well. Be like, he's a great guy. We've had our ups and downs, but we're in an up right now. And then all of a sudden, you just get a full-on character reveal. We have a bunch of comments here. I would tell him you have to assume the worst if he won't be honest with you. I've got to say he must have done bad shit to be escorted off the premises with no warning like that. Either he was hating on her and went over the top, or he tried to fuck her and went over the top, or he tried to fuck her and then hated on her. Someone said, I've worked at larger companies, and when they fire people, sometimes they are walked right out of the building.
Yeah.
The reasoning is they don't want the fired person to make a scene and rock the boat.
100%.
It's heartless in my opinion, but it does happen. Something tells me OP's husband did something terrible because lawyers were there, and apparently the girl could have pressed charges. That is very unusual. My guess is OP's husband got jealous that Darren was sleeping with Beth and not him, as he had a crush on Beth for a while, and he flipped out and went all nice guy on her. He mentioned there are emails, so there is evidence in writing as well. This does not bode well for OP. Lastly, someone said, seeing as it got so far that he's been fired and he doesn't want to fight it, it sounds like the allegations are probably true. The fact that he brings up Darren makes it seem like he's harassed her as a result of sexual jealousy. Does he usually shut down conversation on things? Does he usually keep things from you? I'd be very cautious about what he's hiding and what it means for you and your relationship. Even if it's not sexual and it's just plain old harassment. Do you want to be with a grown man who harasses young women to the point he gets fired? I think if you are married to someone where your finances are tied up and someone gets fired and they won't tell the other person why they got fired, that's a fucking...
They're f***ing.
That's just even if there's not sexual harassment or anything of
it's
this
still
severity,
wrong, yeah.
even if it's like I got fired, it's like why'd you get fired? It's like some bullshit. It's like, hey man,
No.
you getting fired f***s us both, so you need to
talk
tell
about
me
Correct.
what you're doing so
Correct.
that we can both be aware.
I also feel like this OP opened up all those comments. If that was me, I'd be like, damn, this is hard to read. Those comments are like, he either wanted to fuck her or whatever. This sucks.
I think
this
OP
is hard.
already knows this is bad.
She must.
Writing out all that information, this is bad.
I also feel like we have started to like when you hear can't come back in during the office hours and has to come in overnight.
Yeah.
I think your brain thinks it's dramatic, but someone could be so rude to someone and hurt someone's feelings, and then the boss could just be like, I'm gonna take care of you and not bring you
You're
both
right.
in the same room.
You're right.
He could have just, I'm not in defense of this guy.
You're gonna try to find every reason why it's not the worst case scenario in this situation, especially when it's but I've known him for 10 years and I have no indication of this in my experience.
Our brain just goes wild when you hear has been escorted off the premises.
Yeah.
It's so horrible how this does happen a lot, and a lot of people really hide their true selves from their partner. And it's so sad.
For years and years and years.
Update.
Let's go!
Yeah! I knew it.
I was waiting for it.
Beth.
My thread was locked before I was able to respond to any of the comments, but I was able to read them this morning. I got up at 5:30 to go to the gym before work, and my husband was still awake playing video games. I presented him with the very good idea someone suggested of sending me an email with the details, but that it wasn't acceptable to shut me out of this situation, since it affects me too. His response was basically, the paperwork is in my car, go get it if you want to read it.
Bastard.
I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together, and he said, "You're going to believe what you want anyways." All of this is unusual for our marriage because I'm a pretty patient person, I think. We went out to the car together and he got in his car, handed me the papers, and left. For about 2 hours, I was panicked because I didn't know where he went, if he was okay, if he was thinking of hurting himself, but his mother texted me at 9 saying he was over there, asking me what happened, if everything is okay, etc. His parents live about 15 minutes away, and I guess he told her he's going to be staying there.
What is
And
going
what did
on?
the paper say?
What did the paper say?
So the paperwork. According to the paperwork, he sent her multiple harassing emails from anonymous email accounts. The emails are printed out and attached. He apparently did this while at work, and they have been monitoring his user account for 3 months. The emails aren't sexual or romantic in nature and are all anonymous and about how she sucks at her job, wouldn't be there if she wasn't a woman, how she should quit before she gets fired, and how everyone in the office hates her. He made fake user accounts for his company's product that she works on and submitted bad reviews of her work. He also did this while logged in at work. He sent an anonymous email to her boss saying that she was sleeping with a senior engineer on another project. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company autofilled with his name and address. She also says she has been harassed for the same length of time, about 3 months, on Twitter. He only logged into one Twitter account that harassed her at work, so they can only say one was him, all telling her to quit her job. So I don't know what to do now. This is all terrifying to me, and I feel so bad for this woman. I have no idea what this is all about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers who don't pull their weight, and he's never done anything like this. I would have bet $1 million that he'd never do anything like this. He's at his parents right now, and I don't know what my next move here could possibly be. This is so scary and out of left field to me.
Dude, did she reject him? Like, why is he going so hard?
Unfortunately, man, some dudes hate women.
You're telling me?
No way!
Shane, that is brilliant. Write that down.
Thanks, Shane.
Write it down.
I'm saying that
No, you're right.
He doesn't need a reason. Like he might just
Asshole.
Dude, could you imagine?
he might have just came up with a reason why he hates her, and she
Thinking-
never did anything wrong to him.
being like, oh, this is my husband, and reading all that?
What a fucking loser. He
Yeah.
puts that fucking gun catalog and doesn't even take out his fucking address in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot. Loser, stupid boy.
Love that.
There was another story that I've read that we haven't read on the show, where a woman finds out that her husband has a Reddit account where he goes and he just hates on women. Like just finds posts, the women posting things, and he just hates on them, hates on their looks, is just disparaging women all over the web. And he logs off and then he goes back to just being, but he just...
It is harder to treat people. It's harder to hate people than treat them equally.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
Like, just treat people equally. And if your male coworkers are also bad, just treat her like that.
Yeah, and also, like, if you have a real issue with her, go to management. Talk to them about it. Do you really have to, like, harass her until she quits?
Get a gun magazine and put it on her windshield wiper.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
Just like that.
extreme. This is
This symbolism. I'll show a picture of a gun.
You look like a cartoon character.
I don't know. This set me off. I'm so
And
sorry.
I kind of love it. I kind of love
This
it
set
because
me
to
off.
put a gun on someone's car, a gun magazine, that is
He's scary, and he's also an idiot because inside was a subscription card that the company autofilled with his name and address.
That's what I'm saying is like, what a loser.
I want to know why. I just
I
want to
came
know
too
why.
hard for him, but
No, you didn't come too hard for him.
Are you kidding me?
I just feel so bad for her. Could you imagine you're just bad at your job?
What if she's not?
I don't-
But also, she's probably
have-
having a great time with Daryl, Danny,
Dylan,
Darren.
all the D's. She's allowed to do whatever
She's
she
doing
wants.
anything with the D's with the D, and she's having a great time. And he's probably like, I hate her because no.
There could be any number of reasons.
She's probably great.
And I
at her
love him
job.
giving his wife the papers going, you're going to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah,
Like, those are you, my guy.
That's because he hates women.
yeah.
You said it.
I mean, look.
Quote that.
I've been on YouTube for 10 years. Like, it's astounding what little a woman has to do to make swaths of men just fucking hate them.
So true.
You're
this
the
is
shit,
from afar, but yeah.
You're the
yeah.
It's also just real. I mean, we all see it, right?
No, it's like-
it's and I mean everybody at home watching or listening to this is like, oh yeah. You pull up the internet and you see an example of it every day. And I mean, hate goes around all over the place. I'm not
100%.
saying that
Right.
only men are doing this. I'm just saying like there are so many men out there who are waiting for the excuse. Like they have so much pent up hatred
Yeah.
This goes
for
for
whatever
just-
reason that they just once they find a target and they're like, this is my outlet.
They
Yeah,
go.
I mean
they
that's
go
what
for
that was
them.
my argument, being like it's more work to make others less than than just treat her just as you would your male coworkers. You're going out of your way.
It makes me think of so many stories when people are just letting their hatred get the better of them. I'm like, look at all this time you're spending on this. I'm like, bro, get a hobby.
Meanwhile,
Knit-
Beth is fucking Dylan having the time of her fucking
Beth
life.
is fucking Dylan Darren having a great time. And guess what? She did not fucking falter, bitch. She was like, yeah, I don't like this behavior. I'm gonna get you fired and escorted out of here.
I guess I'm just like, damn, dude, like.
Dylan, Darren.
It's so much work. Look at all the
It's
ways
so
you're
much
like
work.
messing up your life, and it would just be so much easier to treat people equally. Just go home.
It reminds me of when I will find an account, I will see like a hateful comment somewhere on the internet. And I'll go down the rabbit hole of looking at this account. And it's kind of cathartic for me because I'm like, okay, who's this person who just left a piece of shit comment somewhere?
Yeah.
And I go and I'm like, oh, you just leave hateful comments all day.
Yeah.
Like you're just going around finding things to hate on. I'm like, damn, man, like you could live life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like read a book.
You could clean your
No.
house with that energy.
You could lie under a
Truly.
bed and sleep.
You could wash your sheets.
You could saturate with someone.
You could get green.
This is insane. Is there an update?
There's no more updates.
Here's the deal. I bet he went to his mom's house and the mom was like, what happened to you, my son? You know?
Yeah.
It's really sad.
And then he sucked his thumb and went to bed.
And he went to bed in his
Played some
little
video
blankie.
games. My mother-in-law cut my hair in my sleep because she thought I cheated on my husband. So I'm still processing this, but I need to get it off my chest. Last night, I woke up and realized someone had butchered my hair. One side is a jagged pixie cut, and
Holy
the other
shit.
side hangs awkwardly past my shoulder. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Maybe I sleepwalked or something, but no. To be that heavy of a sleeper.
Yeah, that's absurd.
I confronted my husband, Tim, because he's been acting weird lately, but he denied it. Then he drops this bombshell. My mom, she might have done it.
How did she get in?
This is a horror story. Apparently, my mother-in-law, let's call her Diane, is convinced I've been cheating on Tim. Why? Because last week she saw me having lunch with a coworker. For the record, the coworker, Kyle, is gay, and we were literally talking about work. But Diane decided I must have been having an affair, and instead of, talking to me or Tim, she broke into our house in the middle of the night with scissors and went full Edward Scissorhands on my hair.
This is fucking wild.
This morning, I confronted her. At first, she played innocent, but when I pressed her, she literally said, well, maybe now you'll think twice before humiliating my son. I was fuming. I told her Kyle isn't even into women, but she just rolled her eyes and said something like, that's what they all say. I didn't even know how to respond to that level of delusion. Tim is horrified and apologetic, but I'm struggling here. This woman violated my personal space, destroyed my hair, and acted like she was in the right. I wanted to go no contact with her, but Tim is stuck between me and his mom, and I feel like this is going to be a huge blow up in our marriage. Any advice? Because I'm honestly at a loss here. My husband and I will be going to my mother-in-law's tomorrow to talk to her about the situation again. Hopefully everyone will be calmed down by then and I won't have to threaten legal action. Thank you all for the support and suggestions. I will keep them in mind.
Unbelievable.
So brutal.
Whoa, dude.
That is
Oh my God.
unbelievable. See, this is why I sleep with my head sandwiched between two pillows. Because I'm always worried about this happening.
To be clear,
Yeah.
this is a assault.
No,
It
yeah.
is probably several crimes lumped into one.
Oh, yeah.
She violated her body.
Breaking
Like,
and entering.
Breaking and entering, just all
Assault,
of it.
yeah,
I feel like
it's-
this is a clear-cut case.
100%. No, she could press charges and ruin the mother-in-law's life. That is so
Also,
insane to do.
absolutely terrifying that the mom was able to pull this off without waking them both up.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical of the husband because she broke into their house. She goes and cuts her hair, gets out of the house, and the husband's like, yeah, it might have been my mom. You just knew?
Yeah.
Right off the bat, you're like, yeah, it probably was my mom. What? Like,
This is so, like, oh
That's
my.
horrifying.
I also think I understand her. That is a no contact.
This person
Yeah.
doesn't respect personal like your literal, like your body.
Yeah.
They will just come into your space without your permission and your shit up. That is just so. I wouldn't be able to go into her house.
Because she was having lunch with a coworker.
Yeah.
That's why she did this. God knows what she'll continue to do.
No.
That is such
That's
a
the
violation.
starting point, as far as we know. So, I mean, this mom could actually kill someone.
Yeah.
Like to invade someone's house like that and cross that boundary, it's not that far off, right?
No.
It's like
No, at that point, I would assume the mom is capable of anything.
it would be hard for me to sleep in that house.
I wouldn't be able to be in the same state as that mom.
No, it's indefensible. There's like no, like, if I'm the husband, I genuinely, I love my mom so much, and I obviously know she would never do anything like this, but if she did something like this, like, that is not anywhere in the realm of okay. And if my wife said, I want to go no contact, I'd be like, okay, like that is such a violation.
You have to make her and her body feel safe in that house. Right? Like if you're this person's partner, you have to make this person feel like they can rest.
I would be reporting the mom, if I'm him, I'm reporting the mom, not out just for the safety of my wife, but also kind of for the safety of the mom of being like, something is wrong. Like, you cannot be out in public right now. Like, I don't know what kind of help you need, but oh my God, like that is a delusion that is so extreme.
And what does she think of her son to not be able to stand up for himself or like that she has to invade into his relationship if he's being cheated on? Like, he's an adult. He's not being cheated on, but if that's the case, he's not a child. He's like an adult man.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many situations where a mother or father-in-law is being awful in a much more like normal, like kind of way, I guess is the best way I can say it. And I understand where it's tough to be put in that bind between like your spouse and your parent. This is a situation where I feel like the answer is pretty clear.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm siding with the person who a crime was committed against, and I need to make them feel safe. Mom, you're a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You've lost.
Yeah.
You've lost in this situation. Comments, this is assault, please report her, terrifying. Someone said, if your husband doesn't realize that this is straight up crazy behavior and that you need to be protected from this lunatic, he needs to be an ex. Someone else said, this time it was your hair, which in itself is a huge deal. Next time it could be an injury. Your husband shouldn't be stuck between his mom and you.
Yeah.
This woman is 100% to blame. You did nothing wrong. If she can't communicate things and takes this type of action, she can't be trusted. I wouldn't be trusting my husband either in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried that he woke up and saw it happen and then like...
Oh my God.
Because I'm just like, how did he know? He knew right off the bat that it was the mom, which either means she was saying something before or he woke up and was like, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that they both didn't wake up. And I believe her.
Yeah.
Because if she woke up, she would have been like, what the fuck? But I'm having a hard time that he didn't either.
Or maybe he just like knows his mom is a revengeful person, or he's just like on a much less insane scale. Just he has his mom fight his own battles.
Update.
Oh, yeah.
After the conversation we had with Diane this morning, I noticed my husband, Tim, was acting weird. At first, I thought it was just guilt about standing up to his mom, but it felt like more than that. He's been avoiding eye contact and getting defensive when I bring up what happened.
No.
Earlier, I couldn't take it anymore, so I sat him down and told him he needed to be 100% honest with me about everything. That's when he dropped the bombshell. Apparently, Diane didn't come up with the haircut idea on her own. Tim admitted that he knew about it ahead of time and even helped her. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. He said he truly thought I was cheating on him with Kyle, my gay coworker, because Diane had convinced him that there was too much evidence to ignore. When she suggested cutting my hair as some kind of weird punishment, he didn't stop her. In fact, he led her into our house that night while I was sleeping. Tim said he didn't want to confront me directly because he wasn't ready for the truth. So instead, he let his mother do this insane thing to me, thinking it would force me to come clean. Afterward, when I didn't admit to cheating, he started to realize that he might have been wrong. But by then, he didn't know how to tell me what he'd done. He kept saying, "I'm so sorry, I was just confused. But I honestly don't know how to process this. This wasn't just Diane acting like a lunatic. This was both of them. And my own husband betrayed me in one of the most humiliating ways possible. I packed a bag and am staying with a friend tonight while I figure out what to do. I don't know if I can ever trust him again after this." I think your answer's there.
Yeah.
It's not just the haircut, it's the fact that he didn't talk to me, believed the worst about me without any proof, and actively participated in something so cruel and violating. As for Diane, she's officially dead to me. I've already told Tim that I don't want her in my life ever again, regardless of what happens between us. Right now, I'm torn. Part of me wants to file a police report on both of them for what they did, but I'm scared of how messy it will get. Another part of me just wants to cut ties and move on, but that feels like letting them off too easy. I don't know what my next step is, but I do know this: I deserve better than this. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through this. Your comments and advice have meant the world, and I'm truly grateful for the kindness and understanding. It's helping me find the strength to figure out what comes next. Dude, do not, let him off. This is unbelievable.
No, pressing charges against the mom, 100%. I guess if you want to have a conversation with your husband.
They both did it, though.
Yeah.
The husband and the mom worked together to do this. They're both 100%
Somehow
liable.
it got so much worse. I wouldn't think that would happen.
I didn't think this could get worse. Either way, the end result is getting as far away from these people as possible. He is an absolute dumbass. I mean, what did he think was going to happen? Is like, oh, you're cheating on me, so I'm going to have my mom cut your hair in the middle of the night, and that will do something. I just don't understand what his line of thinking is here. Can you not form a complete sentence and ask your wife a question? Can you not talk to her? Like, how stupid are you? I hope charges get pressed against them so that it makes it clearer for people in the future that he is dangerous and that it will prevent other people from ever being with him. That's my hope. I also fully see what she's saying, because when we're reading a story on the internet, it's easy to be like, oh, dude, go to court, take him down. But you are kind of committing potentially your whole life.
And it costs
to
money.
Legal battles, a lot of money. It sucks that it is so complicated. I understand her just being like, I want to just get away and just move.
I would be scared of
I
the
totally
mom.
understand it.
Yeah, I'd be so scared of any retaliation that they would do if you took legal action.
Especially when you already know these are dangerous people, like truly dangerous people. That's scary because you're like, oh, because if she was like, oh, I'm worried about doing this because I'm worried they'll like murder me, I'd be like, I can't say no, they won't.
She had scissors around her head.
Yeah, that is the behavior of someone who is capable of murder.
Yeah.
To me. Final update.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to give an update after everything that's happened. After spending the last couple of days trying to process everything, I finally made some concrete decisions. First, I contacted a divorce lawyer. I explained the entire situation, including that my husband admitted to and how his mother violated my trust and personal safety. The lawyer was very supportive and walked me through the process of filing for divorce. While it feels daunting, I know this is the best decision for me. I can't see a future where I could ever trust my husband again after what he allowed to happen. Second, I decided to press charges against my mother-in-law. I've filed a police report for assault, and I've documented everything. Photos of my hair, text messages, and the timeline of events. While I'm still nervous about how messy this could get, I refuse to let her get away with what she did. What she did wasn't just humiliating, it was an act of violence, and she needs to be held accountable for it. As for my husband, I've made it clear that I'm done. I've moved out and will not be returning. I've blocked his mother entirely and am limiting any communication with him to legal matters only. I'm still scared, hurt, and figuring things out, but I feel a little more empowered now that I've taken these steps. Thank you to everyone who has offered me advice, support, and encouragement. It's helped me more than you know. This is still far from over, but I'm determined to move forward and build a better future for myself. I'll keep you updated as things progress.
Wow.
I think that's the best possible outcome right now.
Yeah.
That's the last update. I hope things work out for her.
Me too.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man.
That's unbelievable.
That's like a true horror story.
Yeah, it really is. It's so scary.
Terrifying.
I can't believe what people are capable of, because that is just shocking.
That's so bad.
That's one of the wildest ones we've ever read.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm imagining like if I woke up in the middle of the night and someone was in my room with scissors, that I would never be able to like forget that, you know? Like that would freak me out forever.
I would think it's a demon.
Yeah.
I'd wake up and be like, oh, a demon is trying to kill me. I need to return that figurine that I stole 30 years ago. Well, I hope for the best for her. If we ever get another update, we will be sure to share. Am I the asshole for not attending bachelorette trip?
Is there an article there?
I have a hot take about this already, so let's go.
Am I asshole for not attending bachelorette?
For not
trip?
attending bachelorette trip.
No article.
My best friend is getting married this June, and I am one of the bridesmaids. Her bridesmaid trip is set for the end of May in Chicago. We will be driving there, and it's over 4 days. However, I don't want to attend the trip anymore. We have booked the Airbnb, which was $176 per person, and I paid my portion. Her demands from us for a wedding have gotten out of hand. Her wedding is over 3 days, and we have 3 different bridesmaid dresses, which have cost me $700, and it costs $200 to get them altered. Makeup for the weekend is $225 per person, and I haven't even gotten my shoes or jewelry. Not to mention, she is requiring us to have certain hairstyles, which would require hair extensions, which would cost me at least $200. Financially, this is becoming too much for me. I know I agreed to be her bridesmaid, and I am willing to fulfill my duties during the wedding. However, going to Chicago and spending all that money is something I am no longer willing or able to do. I won't be asking back my portion of the Airbnb because that was my contribution I made willingly. I have yet to tell her that I won't be going to Chicago, but am I the asshole for not going? Up until now, I have attended and participated in every way as a bridesmaid and been there when she needs me, but the trip is too much.
Sounds like she simply can't afford the trip, and I don't really blame her.
Yeah, man.
I would say not the asshole. I think some of these bachelorette parties are out of control, and they're very they're just too much.
Yeah.
They're very controlling, and the amount of money, you can't expect people to spend that amount of money.
Right.
Like that, already 3 different dresses.
Yeah.
And hair extensions. Also,
Yeah.
some women don't want to get hair extensions. Like, that to me is overboard. So I think it's actually really honorable that she's going to pay for the Airbnb and then be like, I'm so sorry. I literally cannot afford this trip.
Yeah. I think she's totally in her right to say that.
If you can't afford it, what are you supposed to do? That being said, it just sounds like it's an uncomfortable conversation because this friend has a lot of expectations. Your friend, if they have this many specific expectations about their wedding and everything surrounding it, is going to be disappointed and probably upset with you.
Yep.
But you're not an asshole.
No.
Also, circumstances change. You agree to something wedding related a year or 2 down the road, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I don't have that same job anymore, and I had to pay for some medical bill, and now I can't take this. Like, a vacation is a luxury in and of itself, but you're doing it for someone else to a specific spot.
Well, you don't know their wedding plans ahead of time. So when someone asks you to be a bridesmaid, you usually don't know their plans.
Right, okay.
You're kind of like, oh, okay, great. You usually think it's maybe 2 days of a wedding or something like that, but you don't know that it's going to be all of this. Expectations on a look. I get that for 1 day. It's really tough. Sometimes you have to be like, okay, I got to do my hair. I got to do all this for 1 day. But 3 different dresses.
That's a lot.
A 4-day trip.
This is out of hand. To expect all your friends to spend $2,000 for the
nuts.
bachelorette.
So May in Chicago, I don't know. That weather's going to be weird.
So wait, was this one planned by the bride? Because isn't it a lot of times the maid of honor who plans the...
Right.
But either way, it's it should be discussed of hey, we want to do this. This is the cost. Does this work for everyone?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how...
Sounds like it was planned by the bride,
It sounds like... Because she's talking about having to talk to the bride.
Yeah.
About this.
It sounds like the bride probably had some pretty important stipulations of I want to do this and I want to do this. All right, bridesmaid, make it happen.
Maybe her maid of... I feel like maybe her maid of honor did it. Yeah. I don't really know. Bachelorette parties are so... They really... They can be anything that you want them to be, but I just feel like you can't... Everyone has to be all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been invited to bachelorette parties that are 4 days, hour drive, super expensive, and you're I don't. And then you do it, because you do it. And then you're there and you're What else are we getting? What else are we adding to the tab? Oh, we're going to this fancy dinner. We're all going to split it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't people also often cover the bride because it's like their bachelorette party?
Yes.
So it's like,
the bride's like,
yeah,
I'm not paying.
another round of Mai Tais.
I'm very conscientious of when I'm making other people spend money.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not considering it.
Yeah.
Like just being aware of like, oh, other people are spending money. Like
It's like birthday parties even.
Yeah.
If it's your
Yeah.
birthday, some people go to the extreme, and I'm just like,
The verdict was not the asshole. Comments, not the asshole. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Tell her. If she really is your friend, she'll understand. Someone said, info, did you talk to her about it becoming a financial burden for you? And if so, did she try to accommodate some of the costs for you? OP responded saying, I have talked to her about the change in my financial situation, mostly because of a job change and also unexpected health costs for a health condition.
Oh,
She did help with the dress alterations by sending me $50, so that made my contribution $200. Every help counts, and I deeply appreciate it. However, it still doesn't change that Chicago is a stretch for me. Someone said, girl, she gave you $50 when you have spent $1,076 so far and are expected to spend another $425. I bet she's expecting a nice wedding gift too. She literally gave you back 3% of what you were spending. This is insane.
Okay, math.
yeah, wow.
okay.
Someone.
By my calculations.
Calculator.
Update.
Oh my God. Yay.
4 months later, under a new post titled, Am I the asshole for taking my friend to court after she kicked me out of the bridal party for cutting my hair? Yeah, things are really spicing up now. We're eating today. Get your chocolate milk out.
Oh God.
Get your chocolate milk out because this has gotten spicy.
Oh.
Okay.
See what I...
No, I totally
cools
got it.
it down 'cause
yeah,
it's sweet.
milk is good for that.
Yeah. For my friend's 3-day wedding, I had to buy 3 different dresses, including alterations and specific shoes, which totaled over $700. She also wanted specific hairstyles for each day. Unfortunately, starting in March, my hair started to deteriorate. Due to health reasons, my hair was falling out in chunks, and in May, I made the difficult decision to cut my hair. I told the bride about my decision 2 weeks before the wedding, and she didn't say anything bad. The following week, she came over to my house, and when she was about to leave, she brought up that she was concerned about my haircut, and I told her it would look good even though I wouldn't be uniform with the other bridesmaids. The following day, I received this message. After our recent conversations, I'd like to remind you of my boundaries. I've been very accommodating and graceful, but I can't allow you to disrespect me. As you know, my wedding has been something I've dreamt of for many years. Husband and I have invested a lot of money into the video and photos of this day, and as we reflect on this day in the future, we want to see our vision reflected in the memories. Since I asked each of you to be a bridesmaid in 2019, I've been very clear and communicative in my request. The timing of your decision to cut your hair and not income in advance is very upsetting to me. I would have felt respected if you had communicated with me more than a week prior to the wedding, so we could have worked together to find a collaborative solution. Your inconsistencies have concerned me, and while I sympathize with your health concerns, I'm not willing to compromise my vision to accommodate you or anyone else when you have informed me in advance and we could have found a better solution. Since this is something you can no longer fully commit to, I need you to please step down from participating in my wedding. This was 3 days before the wedding. I immediately sent her and her husband an invoice asking them to reimburse for the dresses and shoes, keeping in mind that one of the dresses is still in her possession, even though I paid for it. Neither of them replied, and so I decided to take it to court. I was told I was inconsistent and selfish after I spent the past 2 weeks helping her plan the wedding shower. I worked with another bridesmaid to surprise her with a bridal shower after our bachelorette trip had to be canceled. I spent hours helping her out with wedding details. When she asked me to help her tone up before the wedding, I sent her a personalized workout program and even went with her to the gym to show her the ropes. When I agreed to be her bridesmaid, I was more than willing to oblige with what she asked, even if at times it was a lot of time and money. So am I the asshole for taking her to court because she kicked me out for cutting my hair? Oh my God.
I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I mean, honestly, this poor woman is going through so much right now. She was losing her hair.
Yeah, I don't know what health concern it could be, but I know that regardless, losing your hair that's an extreme thing.
Also, you can cut your hair whenever the F you want.
It's your hair. I don't understand the stipulation. The extensions already was weirding me out because it's like you want everyone to change their bodies for this. That's a lot.
She wanted a uniformed really controlling look.
Yeah.
I also want to like point out she used the word boundaries, like you crossed my boundaries, and that's not what boundaries are.
Nope.
You don't get to control how someone else looks, and that's a misuse of the word. And this friend sounds like they belong in the "Am I the devil" posts, not "Am I the asshole."
Literally, though.
No, the I'd like to remind you of my boundaries was kind of all I needed. It's like you can just stop reading there.
Like, Your Honor?
You can.
He's like, I'm gonna save everybody's time here. You give them the money. Click.
I love that.
Thank you. I'd like to think of another world where I made it a young woman.
Thank you for that.
Nightmare human.
got
We can't really be too shocked. Like, we saw all the signs were there for this woman to be off.
But this is bad. Now, okay, court is a lot. Here's the thing. I think sending an invoice for what she paid for, hell yeah, fucking great. Court.
But if they're not going to pay the invoice, like, is the invoice just like a so there, or like, hey, I've lost my job and my hair is falling out, I could really use that money back?
If she really needs the money, then yeah, you got to do whatever you can to get the money.
She doesn't even have one of the dresses in her possession. This is 3 days before, which is essentially like any place can charge if you cancel what? 72 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours?
Yeah. And it's very clear, based on that response, it's like, you shouldn't talk to this person or be friends with them ever
never again.
So there's no harm in going through court. I don't know much. All I know about court is just that it can be a lengthy, exhausting process. But it's like, if it's worth it to you, until it gets to the point where it's not worth it to you, like, is cutting these people out of your life going to be more important than getting that money back?
Already that's going to happen. They're not going to be friends after this. And like, I want to say the court thing technically is, but like really isn't this person's decision. They sent the invoice saying, you need to reimburse me for this, and the other people didn't even respond. So it's like, okay, well now we're going to court. Like, yes, that is the next step, but you've kind of forced my hand here.
Yeah.
Right. Court's just going to take like a long time. It's going to, make the wound fester longer. I
wonder how the other bridesmaids feel, because like if I'm sitting there and I know that this person like is losing their hair, and so they're like, yeah, I'm losing my hair in clumps, I gotta just shave it all off, and then they get kicked out of it because of their health concerns, I'd be like, damn, are we really going to this wedding?
Well,
like,
what kind of information are they getting fed?
That's also fair.
They were
That is
probably in
so
Chicago,
true.
like, I can't believe it. Amy's not here.
Unfortunately,
Like,
so
what a
true.
bitch. Da, 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 da.
We have one comment on this. I'm very sorry about your health situation, OP, not the asshole. This is not how a friend would treat another friend, and a supposedly valued one at that, since she asked you as a bridesmaid. I'm also sorry you found out this way this woman is not your friend. OP responded, that's honestly what sucks the most. I thought our friendship was much deeper than that. The fact that she was at the house the night before for 3 hours just hanging out, talking and helping her with the wedding stuff, just to receive this the next day. I know for sure I don't want her in my life, but that doesn't negate that she's someone I loved, cared for, and all the memories of our friendship. Devastating.
Yeah,
Friend
devastating.
breakups are really hard.
Yeah, but what is also really harsh is realizing that someone never respected you.
Yeah.
Like, that's brutal, because it's that thing where you then, like, almost flash back and relive your life, and you're like, whoa, wow, all these situations I thought we had mutual respect going, and we didn't.
She's letting the whole vision of her wedding completely take over, which totally does happen. But this is to the extreme.
Yeah, but it makes me question how it's always been going.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. Like, how has the friendship always been going?
Yeah. Update.
Stop!
What the heck?
What?
An update from a year later.
Is it from
Court.
the bride?
The
wanna give her-
lady.
That one lady, you know her.
The bride.
Biffany?
Okay. This has been a long time coming. I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking what the results of the case have been. Unfortunately, I could no longer post comments on my previous post as well. I figured I would wait until everything was done to update everyone all at once. In December 2021, I got the notification that a court date had been set for February 7th, 2022. It would be virtual, and since it's small claims, we would represent ourselves. I began gathering my evidence and created a virtual file which I shared with the court and her 7 days before the hearing. On the day, she did show up. We were given the chance to settle, but that was unsuccessful. When we returned to the hearing, I found out she also had made a virtual file with her evidence, but never shared it with me. The court then made her share it, and what a surprise I had. She had copied my entire format for presenting evidence. Keep in mind that this is a format I created. She didn't even have the decency or brain cells to make something up herself. The hearing proceeded, and we were both given a chance to share our side. I won't go into the details of it, but it took probably 10 to 15 minutes. In my state, they do not give you the verdict right away, and it can take up to 90 days. And so I waited and waited and waited. Then yesterday, May 5th, almost 90 days after, I got a verdict. I won. She has been ordered to pay me the total of $808.94 for the dresses and shoes. I have to return 2 dresses and shoes I have to her. The verdict goes into effect May 30th. I don't see her appealing it, or fingers crossed she doesn't. All in all, I am very happy with the outcome and so ready to close this chapter. Thank you to everyone who has been so invested in this with me. I hope this was the season finale you were looking forward to. P.S. My hair and health are doing much better. My 3 bald spots are growing again, and I couldn't be happier.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this is so
awesome.
good.
That's really like end of the movie vibes, like roll credits, like
Yeah.
This is a season finale. Also, like, this bride, $808. You really made this woman who's going through health issues and everything wait to get that money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like,
And you know, with a 3-day wedding, like the amount that they're spending already is absurd.
Absurd.
Especially with like the tastes that they've talked about, like everything must be perfect. It's not just gonna be the hair and the dresses, it's everything. So $808 for someone you supposedly cared about?
yeah.
Yeah. Just truly threw away a friend. But she clearly has no respect for anyone. at
Oh my
all.
God. I'm
Oh my
very proud
God.
of OP.
I love that.
Yeah, badass.
Also, what a dumbass move to be like, oh yeah, I didn't share evidence with the other side. Like, you have to do that. Isn't that called like discovery? Like you're in that phase of like sharing evidence.
Yeah.
Like you have to do like in my mind, that would have been a nail in the coffin right away of like, oh, you're the type that shared it with us and intentionally didn't share with your friend. Got it. Like,
Also, what was her evidence?
It might have played a part.
Amy sucks.
It might have played a part in why she won.
That's what
was
I'm
that she
saying,
did
like-
that. Yeah. And she just copied her homework.
yeah. Okay, ditto what Amy said, but actually for me now.
Yeah, like,
I'm Biffany.
she kind of sucks, and that's what it is. I'm the bride. Anyways.
Actually, my boundaries are that I cannot be guilty.
That actually, oh, that would
She
suck.
used a lot of therapy terms, I guarantee it.
Work.
Yeah.
You could do that.
You
Judge,
can do that.
Your Honor, you're gaslighting me.
Yeah, judges love when you do that.
Yeah.
This comes from True Off My Chest. I'm that one who decided to stay with my cheating wife with conditions. Okay.
Interesting.
People familiar with relationship subreddits have probably seen posts where the cheating partner offers all kinds of shit in return for reconciling. Well, I'm one of those who ended up accepting those things. The quick backstory is that I became suspicious when going out with coworkers went from like 5 times a year to 5 times a month or more. One day when she texted me that she was going to an after-work event, I went to the car park at her job and put the dog GPS collar in the trunk. She drove to an apartment building. I checked all the names on the door and then compared them to names on her LinkedIn, and sure enough, she had a coworker who lived there. Won't bore you with all the details, but she ended up confessing after I confronted her that night when she got home. A lot of crying, screaming, pleading, it didn't mean anything, yada yada. Then she went and stayed with her parents. I was set on divorce at first, but every day she gave me the "we can fix this, I'll do anything" speech, and that's how it started to grow on me. That was over 3 years ago. In exchange for not filing for divorce for the first 12 months, the following rules are in place.
Buckle up.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
Thank you.
Pull the lever. Buckle up. Oh, helmet.
You have a helmet on this roller coaster?
We got Darth Vader over here.
Holy shit. Here are the following rules. Post-nup, if she filed or if I filed after the 12 months, I would get first dibs on the house, still 50-50. There would be no alimony and we would keep any personal assets. 2, no kids. I didn't want kids before this. She was more back and forth. 3, our old joint bank account is now my bank account. It's still being used in the same way, as in we both put money in and then use it for larger purchases, groceries, gas, insurance, etc., but falls to me in case of divorce as per the postnup. She can still use it with a spending limit. 4, she needs to find a new job and cut off any old coworkers. 5, cut off one of her friends who knew about the affair. 6, open relationship on my end, only used this a total of 3 times. The last time was over a year ago. Fucking hate dating. 7, STD tests. 1 initial for both, every month for her. For me, only if I slept with someone else. However, we don't plan to do these anymore. It was just a pain. 8, location on her phone. 9, no going out alone without my consent. 10, no alcohol. She used to have a problem with day drinking. This wasn't really a factor in her affair. I just took the opportunity to be rid of it. 11, no complaining about the rules or post-nup. Obviously, it's a bit more detailed than that, but those are the major points. Questions I can imagine getting. Are you happy? Yeah, I would say so. I still get pissed when I think about it sometimes, but it fades just as quick. It was much harder in the beginning. Is she happy? She says she is and that she doesn't regret it. Doesn't regret it? Doesn't regret getting back with him with the rules is what I'm assuming. Do you feel controlling? Yep. Do you still have sex? Yes, I would say we average about the same as before I discovered her cheating. It's okay. It took a long time for us to start having sex again, though. Did you go to couples counseling? 2 sessions. Done. That dude,
Graduated.
2 sessions. That dude didn't like me very much. Smiley face. She went to a therapist by herself for a while. Pretty much no one knows about all this except you, so it's nice to write it out. Have a nice day. I'm shocked that I could hear a story that starts with, my partner cheated on me, and I could end the story by hating you more than I think.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit,
Like this guy's
man.
gonna be like, and I will not be enabling comments on this post.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to hear anything. The fact that he tried to beat us to it with the question.
I understand in after like infidelity of like there's a lot to gain back trust.
Right.
The start of this I was all like, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Correct. Like, oh, you're gonna set up some rules, some
Right.
boundaries.
Then the bank account came in, and it was like, what's all that about?
Several of these had nothing to do really with.
Right.
This is all about gaining back trust.
The one about leaving your friend, that friend group from that office, and that friend that knew about it, I can understand a little bit of that. Like, but to act like it's a requirement rather than like here, help me heal.
Yes.
These things will help rather than like, these are the rules.
Right.
I don't. The way they're going about this is all wrong, right? Like,
Absolutely.
And I do think conquering it, like if you're going to try to move past infidelity, which is extremely hard, right? I do think you need a professional involved.
Absolutely.
I would think I would need one. No different than if you're writing out a post-nup, like you need a lawyer involved. If you're trying to set up boundaries for how your relationship can heal from one of the most damaging things that can happen to it, you need a relationship expert who is outside of your
both parties are
relationship.
hurt.
Yeah, and both parties need to also like be fully honest and agreeing
And work
that this
together.
is going to work.
Yeah.
This does not seem like this seems horrible.
It feels like he is abusing the shame and guilt
Yep.
that she is feeling and manipulating that to then
Yeah.
have full control of her. And so his insecurities could be silenced, and he has her basically on a string.
I don't love so many aspects of this, right? I don't love, well, for one, it's open on my end. I've used it 3 times. I don't trust this person. This is a unreliable narrator. I don't love that he's like 2 sessions in regards to the counselor. 2 sessions. That dude didn't like me very much. Smiley face. I'm like, you're a villain.
You're happy about him not liking
What the hell are you doing? And like, I fully understand. I understand the suspicion and when you're in a place of distrust, what you'll go to. He put a tracker on her car. There's just the lengths this guy is immediately going to.
Yes.
These are red flags.
Yep.
And I think there are times in life when people get the excuse when someone does something wrong, and they definitely did something wrong, but that doesn't give you permission to be a monster.
Right.
And be like, well, I'm allowed to because this person wronged me. It's like, okay, people can wrong you. You still need to be like, what's your end goal here?
Right.
Is kind of where I'm thinking.
And the answer to infidelity is not the other person gets to do it also.
That's, yeah, like I understand how some people go like, well, this is how it'll equal out. It's like, but
you're making it double
break
worse.
up. Like
Break up.
it's done.
Right. Unless it's Brad Pitt. That's my mom.
Comments. Another question. Do you really see yourself staying in this marriage? OP responded, well, I've stayed so far, smiling face.
Go fuck yourself.
Jesus, for real.
Yeah, that has 246 downvotes. So
That's awesome.
The audience does not like him.
Good.
Hard to do. Like, if you get cheated on, it's easy to write a post out where people would be like on your side.
Right.
Someone said, sounds miserable. I would 1,000% rather be alone than this circus. You're cracked, man. Got all this figured out to what? Grow old with someone that doesn't love you and you have to police? Fuck that. OP responded, I don't really have to do anything, to be honest. It's not like I sit and watch her location all day, and I can always get a divorce if I feel like it. 159 downvotes.
Go away!
Go away and get out. God.
Just go!
Someone said turning the joint into your own personal account, that wasn't even necessary, dude. Daylight robbery. Give her the amount she contributed back. OP said that was very much necessary. It's insurance and a divorce cushion for me. I think cheaters should pay, so why not literally? 91 downvotes. Someone replied to that saying, good question, why not literally? How much does cheating cost? $5? $500K? You'll have to enlighten me on the monetary value of cheating. Does having the bank account all to yourself make you feel any better? If yes, then maybe you should have just let your wife know the sum of money she has to pay you in order to make cheating feel better. We have a small edit/update here. Yeah, I know our lives seem dark and depressing based on the above. I get it. I'm a horrible person. But we also go on dates, travel the world, buy each other flowers, cuddle, have friends, play sports, etc., etc. Without evil, there can be no good. So it must be good to be evil sometimes. Satan.
Sorry, that was a quote from Satan?
That was a quote from Satan.
So he
is quoting
Satan.
He is quoting Satan, which has me wondering if he's Satan.
It's giving Satan.
It's giving Satan a little bit.
Satan.
By the way, this is Satan from South Park.
I was gonna say, where is Satan on the record?
I hope this is fake. I hope this is a guy who just loves to, like, rile people up. I hope it's rage bait.
Yeah.
It could be a person who was cheated on and is now living a fantasy online of all this stuff.
Right.
But I also know, like, unfortunately in relationships, like, things get really unbalanced, really toxic stuff happens, and this is a very
And I also, like, I feel
unique.
for her because shame, I do believe shame and guilt could blind you in scenarios where you're
Yeah.
like, I messed up,
So
I
whatever you
deserve
want,
this.
yeah.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get manipulated that way.
I'm so curious what's going on in this relationship before
Before it all went
she
down.
was cheating and stuff. There, there's not really, I'm not going to say like there's an excuse for cheating, but like this could be a very bad relationship where she is scared and doesn't feel she can get out.
100%. So she's like going behind his back rather than communicating openly because it sounds like this guy doesn't want to communicate and he just has restrictions.
Moving on from that guy who sucks.
So many times I wanted to say post-nup clarity, but I didn't say it. And you're welcome. Next story.
Brain rot.
Okay. This comes from relationship advice. I, a 27-year-old woman, made a stupid joke to my husband, who's 30, and he stormed off. How do I fix this? Hey Reddit, I'm an Instagram snooper, so this is my first time here. I honestly never expected to post here because my husband, who's 30, and I have a great relationship. Of course, I can't say we haven't had our occasional bumps, but it's honestly a dream come true all the way through. Our wedding was April 2021, and we both cried like babies that day, and since then, the sailing has been smoother than soap. It's 2022 as of posting this, so it's November of 2022, so they've been married for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
This afternoon, he and I came home after a little lunch outing with our newly engaged friends, Kai and Marie. It went great, but was like just another outing, nothing special, though we got some bomb pasta back home, which I'm currently shoveling into my gob since it's too chilly for ice cream. We live in a super tiny apartment, and so he showered first while I got the leftovers into the fridge and stuff. I went in after him, finished my shower, and put some lotion on my palm. I accidentally squeezed too much and dabbed some of it away. After I rubbed it on my face, I still had some of the leftover on my finger, and I did exactly what any perfectly sane person would do. On my thumb, I whipped up a little smiley face and some spiky hair to create Lotion Man. I came out of the bathroom, giggling about it, and said something along the lines of, "Hey look, it's Lotion Man." He didn't really react. He just looked at my hand and blinked at me. I honestly was just goofing around and started making a silly voice and saying some random shit sprinkled with some inside jokes. I was blabbing for about a minute before he just up and left. I was, of course, completely oblivious as he grabbed some of his shit, and I just was smiling and asking where he was going in a kind of playful way. He has a huge truck, and we just returned from a trip, so he has enough stuff to last him weeks. So it didn't really dawn on me that he was leaving until he drove away. Honestly feel like Boo-Boo the fool for making such a stupid joke and then letting him leave just like that. You guys know Boo-Boo the fool?
Yeah.
That meme of the jester in the chair.
Oh, Boo-Boo the fool is the jester in the chair. Did not know that. Thank you for having that knowledge.
My face when Boo Boo the Fool is a gesture in a chair.
Plot twist, Boo Boo the Fool is a jester in a chair. Okay, so she shows him Lotion Man, goes, look, it's Lotion Man. And he leaves and like fully leaves.
Dude, here's the thing: is I've done some bits so bad that Raven has walked out of the room. So I get it.
Maybe she just bombed that bad. I texted him a few times, and he's just said that he's thinking about things and that he's at his brother Tyler's place. I've been texting him nonstop, but he hasn't been responding or even reading any of it. He also sleeps really early, so I doubt I can get in contact with him anytime soon. His brother isn't responsive either, so I'm just leaving my phone on the nightstand and holding my breath. I don't think it's really dawned on me yet. I stared blankly at the door for like 10 minutes before I got off my ass and actually tried contacting him. I've been with this man for years, and I'm always cracking cheesy jokes. I feel stupid and like shit for making Lotion Man and continuing after no response instead of just shutting up and accepting that I'm unfunny. At the same time, I'm just confused. He's never been at this point even in our rougher patches. The worst we've done is just take breaks from sex or just talk to one another a little less. I wasn't planning on getting into my sex life, but honestly, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm all for giving him space, but I can't say I'm not hurt. He's just leaving. And the process of divorce is just so, I don't even want to think about this anymore. Was making Lotion Man as big of a mistake as I think it was? Any advice on getting him back home? Thanks, Reddit. Also, any cute subreddit suggestions would be appreciated since it's my first time on Reddit and I want to distract myself.
Dude,
Guys, this is Lotion Man.
Dude, that's Lotion Man.
That's Lotion.
Awesome.
Yeah. Comments here. There's something big missing to this story because ain't no way it's over the soap thing. Someone else said, I guess I'm missing something important. What was it about the Lotion Man that he got mad enough to leave? Someone said, that's a pretty extreme reaction and it sounds like you didn't do anything wrong. You should perhaps stop texting, see what he says tomorrow. You need to find out why this caused this reaction and he should be the one apologizing to you. What do we think?
feel so bad
For Lotion Man.
for her and Lotion. Okay, okay. So I'm thinking that he was feeling like things weren't working out, but for him, for that to be what snapped it, like that sucks so bad.
That's devastating.
For someone to have, I don't know, I don't think I would do a Lotion Man-like joke, but I do think nothing's off the table. So for someone to use a moment of failure, like Lotion Man, and use that to be like, I'm leaving you, is the worst thing to hear.
Yeah, I've made jokes far worse than Lotion Man. Just like bad, not like bad, but like they're just not good.
Yeah.
And God, yeah, that would be devastating if I just told a really bad throwaway joke and it was like, well, that's it, you're done.
Like what? Yeah, and it's loaded for us because like sometimes I feel like our ability to make jokes kind of is your employment. And like what if you did a TNTL bit and then you just saw like somebody in the back go, and it was so bad. Like I do Queen of Mold, and then I see someone come back here and they go, and then you walk in the back and they're like, it's not gonna work.
That would be, I would
That's
never.
what this feels like to me.
I would never tell a joke again. I would never.
She's probably so rocked to her core.
I think what we're not considering is what if Lotion Man killed his father when he was a child? What if Lotion Man is like, he's like, hey, you know my history with
You're right. What if Lotion Man, that image specifically, looks a lot like her ex, who she's not over?
her ex, Lotion Man.
What if?
Her ex, Lotion.
What
and
if-
he's like, yeah.
No, if you had something, you should go. Mine wasn't good.
No, go.
Okay.
It's a safe space. No one will leave you if what you're about to say is bad.
No, I was gonna say, what if Lotion Man, she left out that she used Lotion Man to tell him that she'd been cheating on him. And it was like, she just let that part out of the story. She's like, oh yeah, I used Lotion Man as a little puppet to be like,
Well, she's like, I didn't say that. Lotion Man said
Lotion Man said it. Yeah. I have no clue what the plot twist could be.
I really hope it's not that he wasn't being honest for a long time and was hiding the fact that he wasn't into this, and then used that moment and really just slapped her in the face when she was giggling. You know what I mean? Like, I really hope this has a cool plot twist and not a heartbreaking one.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Let's find out, because we have an update. Hey Reddit, again. I posted here earlier about how my husband left after I told him a dumb joke. You can find it here. I followed the advice I got and kept my distance. You all had me really pondering about how much of my relationship was the butterflies and kittens I thought it was. I still firmly believe that everything was absolutely perfect before it happened, but oh well, I have my opinions. So you guys were right about some things and wrong about some things. For those of you saying that the lotion thing had nothing to do with it, you were kind of wrong. But for the people who said something happened during the lunch outing, you were right on the money. My husband came back the other day. He apologized and said he was ready to talk to me. I obliged. I tried my best not to be all over him, but quite frankly, I miss this man so damn much. He's my husband after all. I think I figured out what it is.
What is it?
I think I figured out what it is. I think Lotion Man was so endearing and so cute that he had cheated on her, and he was just like, I can't do this. Like, this is such a sweet and precious
That
moment.
has to be it.
No.
Wait, this is the smartest you've ever looked to me. No, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant analyzation. That isn't a bad, that isn't a diss. That's me going, that's brilliant.
I'm also sitting here wondering if I've read this story before and I don't remember it.
No, you'd remember Lotion.
Dude, that made
I would
me
remember
throw
Lotion.
up.
We've had so many, dude, we've had so many types of people on Reddit stories.
Like, she brings up
Lotion Man. Lotion Man is one of the catalog of people.
She goes, look at Lotion Man, and he's like, I've been stealing money from you for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something dark. And Lotion Man was like the most innocent thing. I think you're so right.
Dude.
No, because that's what I think of what would break someone. Like if you cheat on like the person you love, and then a moment of just pure sweetness, that would be the moment that you're just like, I can't believe I've done this. Like,
I've been cheating on you for
to go.
15 years.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
So that's my prediction. My husband came back the other day. He apologized and said he was ready to talk to me. I obliged. I tried my best not to be all over him, but quite frankly, I miss this man so damn much. He's my husband after all. He told me the following. I mentioned previously that we went out with our two newlywed friends, Kai and Marie. Kai is a 30-year-old man. Marie is a 29-year-old woman.
Does Kai look like Lotion Man?
We did have some quality time with all four of us, but often one or more people were missing from the table, considering it was a fusion buffet and the food was amazing. Apparently, at some point, my husband and Marie grabbed some food together. Or maybe before we left, since I know I was talking to just Kai for a while before they appeared and we got into the car. Whatever it was, they were alone together. Marie, the fiancée, told my husband that when Kai proposed, she realized she was in love with him, my husband. But she accepted Kai's proposal and tried to put her feelings to rest by organizing a lunch out. Though apparently she was charmed or some bullshit because she asked him to run away with her or something. I don't know. But she wanted him to leave me and be with her. Now, Marie is honestly gorgeous, which I hate to say because I'm so pissed off with her. She's the typical blonde, blue-eyed, skinny pageant girl who looks kind of like Emma Watson. I'm not. My husband gently turned her down and wished her all the best. But he says he had her on his mind for a while. We were all college friends, so we know one another very well. And when I showed him Lotion Man, it all essentially exploded inside him. I had a hair towel and some shitty old clothes on, and I was giggling over a stupid thing, and apparently my immaturity ticked him off. He suddenly got cold feet about our relationship and left for his brother's place. He eventually came back and said he loved me all over again. I was frozen in shock and asked some questions before asking him to sleep on the couch, at least for that night. He did, and it didn't really help me sleep. I can't believe that he was considering throwing away all of our relationship for a crush. The more I think about it, the less I can look him in the eye. We went to Thanksgiving lunch together with some of his family and some close friends, and we spent last night together, so I think he thinks he's in the clear. I can't lie and say I'm not considering just forgiving and forgetting, though. He comes home from work about 6 hours from now, and I don't know what to do next. I have off today. I'm a teacher, and so I'm considering either one, contacting Kai and telling him about what his fiancée is up to. My husband begged me not to, as Marie was apparently making a spontaneous mistake. 2, contacting Marie and chewing her out for trying to f up my relationship or having a civil conversation, less tempting, but it's whatever. 3, contacting Tyler, his brother, and asking if he left the house at some point. Tyler's house is very close to Marie's place, and I'm very worried about that, though I doubt I'll get anything out of him. 4, all of the above. Any advice or well wishes, because I'm not in a great place right now, would be appreciated.
Dude, that is soul crushing.
That is awful.
As someone who like hearing this story, like Lotion Man is some shit that I would do. Like I I can't
Which way would you do it?
like make a little lotion guy.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I feel yes. I thought you were saying the other guy.
No, like I do so much dumb stuff
Me
like
too.
that. Like I can't. I really do. I can't over-exaggerate the amount of terrible, dumb, stupid jokes that I make at home with Raven. And if I made a dumb joke like that I thought was like, that's so funny, like silly, stupid, and that was how she responded, I would never joke again. Like that would genuinely crush my soul.
What a bad time for him to hurt her feelings.
It's just like, dude, you got up and left out of nowhere with no explanation, and you left for a while, right? And you come back, and this is your explanation. Like, this is your wife. Like, this is someone you're breaking all the trust here.
I mean, it's like we talk about it all the time, where it's like no matter what, people have to take care of themselves in a relationship. You do have to like go with you. You can't be with someone if you're not happy, right? But the way you go about telling your partner or not telling them, or the way you communicate is what makes you a good person or a bad person. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what makes, like, you falling out of love with someone, that doesn't make you like immediately the asshole. The way you did that, like if you had the like care and like just forefront of thought to be like, let me think about this. How can I communicate this? How can I be responsible for my wife in this time when this is like really messy?
Yeah, because it's the classic thing of like, that I say all the time of like the love aspect is one thing. It's the respect thing.
Yes.
He's disrespecting
That's what I meant to say. Thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
He's disrespecting her nonstop here because your feelings, love, it's that can be a roller coaster for people.
Yeah.
But respect is a choice, and he made a lot of choices here that were very disrespectful to her. We now go back to what we were talking about earlier. If she knows that Marie confessed her love for her husband. And
Just
here's
like,
Kai over here that she's talking to. It's like,
mid-buffet is weird to me, too.
Mid-buffet is crazy.
Because,
confessing
like,
your love at a buffet?
But like like when you get up, like I was just at a buffet for Easter brunch with my family, and it's always like someone's like guarding the boat a little, and you're like, you go out. Yeah, well, I'll stay here. I'll stay at the table. And then someone comes back, and then you kind of all eat at different shifts, and people go back for seconds to be like, let's go to the salad bar.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with you. I'm in love with you, and then go back.
like mid picking up a lobster roll, putting it on your plate.
And then just like go
hey,
back and like.
I've been in love with you all these years. Grab some Jell-O.
Yeah.
Did you want some of this, by the way? I'm in love with you.
Let's keep this conversation maybe a minute tops, and let's hit back. Like what?
It's so disrespectful. Like that is not the way that you handle, like just leaving and not saying a word is so awful. Like if you are having those thoughts, like take a second to process and be like, hey, I want to sit down with you and tell you like this thing that happened at lunch. Like,
or like if you're not even ready to talk about that specific part, just never leaving your partner high and dry without any explanation and quite literally abandoning your person.
Yeah, and it's like you abandoned her is already a lot.
Yeah.
You come back and go, the reason I abandoned you is because this person confessed their love for me and I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
It's like when you fight or flight, that instinct to leave her when there's some issues.
It's like, oh, so that's where you were leaning. You were leaning towards that.
Yeah.
Now I'm supposed to feel confident in us forever?
Yeah. And I totally understand, like, if there's a moment where you, like, have a lot of emotions, like, I totally get needing to be alone.
Yes,
like,
no, I get that too.
Needing to, like, take a
But you
second.
need to tell...
Yeah.
You tell them that before you disappear.
Yeah.
100%. It's like, just send him a text. Like, literally, even if he walked out and sent a text and was like, hey, I have some things going on, like, mentally right now. I just need to sit for a second and we can talk. Like, don't stress too much. Like, I just need to sit. Like, that's great. That's fine. Like, but yeah, to just walk out, get in your truck, drive, no explanation, and then just come back and be like, God, yeah, well, I was thinking about someone else that said that they loved me is the worst thing that you can do to a person after they show you Lotion Man.
Update number 2.
Whoa.
Regardless of what happens in this next plot twist, the friend group is dead.
We're not going to fusion buffets anymore.
No.
We're doing one-on-ones. I don't know with who.
We're doing one-on-one.
We're doing bi-weekly one-on-ones.
Yes. Oh, God, I'm scared.
I don't know what can happen from here on out. A lot of you had some really interesting theories, LOL, and surprisingly, most of them were somewhat right. The majority ruled that I should do all three: confront Kai, Marie, husband, and Tyler. Not necessarily in that order, and so I had to get smart with it since a lot of you guys told me that any of them could twist the story had they known there was an outside influence. Before I begin, yes, the full story is wacky and honestly doesn't make that much sense. I'm honestly just piecing it together via context clues, and I do have some questions left unanswered. When my husband came home, we had a conversation. He essentially said the same story as before, and he told me he was open to my marriage counseling suggestion. I gave him a big hug and did the laundry. Usually we split the laundry, plus I had been giving him a light cold shoulder, so I indirectly forgave him, in his eyes at least. We haven't really set boundaries with our phones, like we know each other's passwords and everything, but he would definitely get suspicious if I was just scrolling around on it. So instead, I agreed to meet up with Kai first. A lot of you guys were concerned that he would tell Marie and everything would implode, but Kai is a big gym nut and I've been wanting to go recently, so I said it as casually as possible, using it as an excuse. He agreed. The next morning, I met with Kai. I sat down with him and told him all I know. Yes, I cried like a baby. Originally, Kai was rigid and tried to kindly poke holes in what I was saying with a few gotcha questions before he too broke down. Marie didn't tell him a word. That was a big red flag on its own. I then went to Marie with Kai. A few Redditors told me to be as discreet as possible, and so, as a suggestion, said, I just blurted to her that I know everything. She played dumb at first and then eventually broke. You all were right. Marie trying to settle her crush was a bullshit story. My husband was the one who approached her.
Absolutely. 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 Absolutely.
There it is.
She told me that he asked her before she sealed it with Kai if she wanted to have a night with him and another woman. Here's the kicker. Marie said yes.
And she's allowed to. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, so
He casually pitched a threesome while on a buffet date, double date. And he was at the lamb chop section of the buffet, and he said, me and two other women that are not here with us at the buffet.
But wait, I hate to say it, but that's not all. Apparently, Marie has been cheating on Kai for a while, with men and women. And my husband has also been cheating frequently. They covered for each other and occasionally met up.
Oh, the friend group is destroyed.
Guys, I don't know if this friend group's gonna make it.
Yeah, the band is breaking up.
At the last moment, she declined because she wanted to be loyal to Kai now that they were engaged, as if she wasn't cheating for the majority of the relationship. And my husband got all pissed off for a while before saying he's just locked up in his apartment now. Cue me showing him Lotion Man. He snaps and gets out of there. Kai and Marie are both arguing, in tears and red at the face. I told them sorry that I butted into their relationship and that I'll handle my husband myself. She's like, see you later.
Dude. I can't get over this man, like having all these like crazy threesomes, and then his wife does a Lotion Man.
She's like, hey, threesome, you, me, Lotion Man.
No, he sees that and he's like, my God.
I found Tyler before the sun set. He told me yes, his brother stopped by, but only around 11 p.m. He left at around 8. So those 3 hours went all. Tyler told me that he was angry and didn't tell him anything. I then tell him some context, just the Lotion Man, and he says that maybe he was driving around for a while. It doesn't sound like my husband to drive as relief, but I'm willing to look into it since the future was already looking pretty fucking bleak. I went home, I Googled something on my husband's phone. Instead, I was just checking if any of them had contacted him. Nothing, thankfully. I would have gone into more depth, but that would have to wait. Instead, I tried to keep him busy for the duration of the day. Remember how I said he goes to sleep really early? Well, that worked in my favor. Took his phone that night while he was snoring his ass off, ran into a million dead ends. I knew I was missing something, but I just couldn't find it. Finally, I opened his hidden photos. Kaboom, his story explodes to pieces. What did I find? Nudes. Nudes, more nudes, even more nudes. All of one girl. Not me, shocker, but not Marie either. I don't recognize her. Let's call her Allison. She's absolutely gorgeous. Red hair, hourglass figure, you name it. I'm obviously broken. I traced her back to a contact. I feel sick. There it is, an affair. He's been contacting her since February, days before I surprised him with the Valentine's thing that I had been using up my paychecks for and thinking I was the luckiest woman alive. It sucks. I can't even read more. But I toughed through it. Then I found it. November 3rd, 2 days after the last nude. She's pissed off. She found out he was married all along. She was in love with him. I would feel bad for her, but she didn't even bother trying to contact me out of love. Hubby has a genius idea. He told Allison that he'll bring his wife over to a hotel to show that his wife doesn't care about the affair. Sound familiar? So I assume when Marie canceled, there was nothing he could do. He became whiny and begged her to come. He told Allison that there was an inconvenience and they'd meet up another day. Then, the lotion man. He got pissed off at me and left. I don't know what he did after that, but whatever it was, he wasn't with either of them. Then he went to Tyler's place, slept it off, and came back afterward. I'll spare you the details, but I couldn't even pretend to like him anymore after I found that out. I brought Kai and Marie over the next morning. He started blubbering and tried to deny it all before eventually admitting he was into redheads. Marie is actually strawberry blonde. Allison is very ginger. And it was the one desire of his I couldn't fulfill. Even I could see past his...
You're gonna have to stop soon.
He's like, fine, you got me. I'm into redheads.
He's like, I'm sorry, it's just the last thing on my bucket list.
Even I couldn't see past his bullshit saying that he loved only me and that being with Allison/Marie only made him love me more. I just said, F it, and packed my stuff. He got more desperate, but even I, the girl who was honestly infatuated with him, knew it was over. He technically owns the apartment, so I had to leave. Now I'm staying with Kai. I feel for him too. His wife was his world. We were hugging and crying for a while, ranting about God knows what, just trying to get ourselves together, to be honest. He tried to lighten the mood by making lunch, and it was really nice. He's a wonderful cook.
By making lotion.
By making lotion, man. I showed him the other 2 posts, and he got a kick out of some of your comments. Haha. As far as I know, my soon-to-be ex-husband is with Marie for now. I don't care about either of them, and honestly, it's kind of therapeutic just having some kind of closure and not walking on eggshells like I have been for the past few days. Kai and I are going to the gym tomorrow to do some relaxing yoga and hopefully figure out what to do next. We've both taken off from work. I'm sorting out my finances, and hopefully I should get the ball rolling to finally legally split from my husband and be able to call him my ex. I'm still so frazzled. I have at least half a dozen pictures of him and me on my desk, and our wedding picture is my lock screen on pretty much all of my devices. I know my students will notice his sudden disappearance from my life, and I'll have to tell them that the guy I've been raving about for the past forever is divorcing me. I'll have to tell all my family and friends. Kai is my rock in this whole thing, and we'll eventually have to part ways, which hurts me because he's honestly my #1 support system in all of this. Living arrangements, actual divorce costs, law stuff, yuck, therapy, sigh. I still have to go through it all. I can't believe I thought this relationship was perfect. It's really therapeutic to just write this all down. I'll be coming back for more advice someday, though just now I've seen all of your sweet words, and I'll continue lurking around for a long time. But this should be my final update for now. Thank you again, Reddit, from me and Kai. Update number 3, condensed for time, because we're running out of time here. OP got a divorce and is now in a happy relationship.
Yay.
That is the final update. So she was able to
Thank God.
get out of that.
Thank God.
You know what's still one of the most interesting things to me about cheating is how cheaters oddly build up resentment for their partners.
Yeah.
Right? It's it's such a weird
Because that's their
cycle.
obstacle in front of
It's such
their
a
other...
weird
Yeah.
thing. I've read some about it, but I still don't understand it. Like where that resentment comes from. It's interesting. So that's clearly what happened. He just was mad at her.
No, I mean...
For lotion, man.
When you're that deep in a psychosis that's telling yourself that what you're doing isn't wrong, this person is annoying because they're in the way. Like, I think you have to be kind of so deep in not logic to be upset with that person.
To sit there and tell these people, I'm into redheads.
Yeah.
And think that you're gonna get through this fine.
Yeah, that's the craziest response ever. Of the admission of guilt for him to just be like, I'm into redheads.
She's like, oh.
It's beyond parody. It's...
No, so many levels of this is so disrespectful.
That is
He planned a whole thing of, I'm gonna get Marie to come to pretend to be my wife.
It's literally Mrs. Doubtfire, boy edition or something. Where he's like, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna run between the restaurants and and get all the redhead I want. Loser.
Jesus.
Sorry.
It's so sad too.
Plot twists.
I feel so bad for her, but I'm happy she like. It sounds like she took care of herself. I'm happy she didn't have to do it alone. She had Kai.
And you know, how does Lotion Man?
Where does he sit?
Where does
in all
he
this?
sit in all this?
Honestly, where's Lotion Woman?
I was gonna say
I'm a little suspicious of Lotion Man.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
like show us your phone, Lotion Man.
Yeah. Hey,
If there's nothing to hide, let's just show your phone. Open your phone.
show us your phone.
Just open your phone if there's nothing to hide. I just want to talk to him.
Show us your phone, Lotion Man.
What was that?
A 40-year-old man wrote this. I started to cheat on my wife, who's 38, but stopped halfway through. Do I still tell her?
What? Well, does that mean
I stopped halfway through. I only did a little.
halfway through?
yeah,
I
it doesn't
only did a
count.
little cheating.
Right.
My wife and I have a great relationship.
And freeze.
My wife and I have a great relationship. I can't say I have any real complaints. We have been together for 5 years, married for 2 of those, and up until now, I would have said I would never stray. I was away for work last week, and while I was in the hotel, a young woman, 21, sat next to me and began to flirt with me. I was extremely flattered by the attention. I have to admit, it was a real ego boost to be flirted with by someone so young, as I've started to get that middle-aged dad bod and have been feeling like I'm losing my looks a bit. After a bit of talking, the woman invited herself back up to my hotel room where we began to have sex. For me, it was all about the thrill of being desired by someone other than my wife, especially by a very young woman. I was slightly drunk, and I figured I'll probably never get the opportunity to sleep with a 21-year-old again.
Ew.
But the thrill wore off very quickly as I realized that I wasn't enjoying myself. This girl was not good in bed. She basically just laid there and starfished. Sometimes she would pull herself into what she thought was a sexy pose, but that was it. She didn't seem interested in me at all. I might as well have been a human dildo because she seemed more interested in herself and how sexy she thought she was. Sex with my wife has always been amazing. When I'm with my wife, she's all over me, talking to me and telling me how hot I am, grabbing me, touching me, getting on top, and so on. I feel like the hottest guy in the world when I'm in bed with my wife. With this girl, I felt like I could leave the room and she might not even notice, let alone care. She seemed like she just wanted the ego boost of a guy finding her attractive. I couldn't stay aroused, and I stopped about 10 minutes into it and asked her to leave, which she did. I took a shower and then called my wife to hear her voice. Now I'm back home, and so far I haven't told my wife about any of it. There's a guilty part of me that says I should because she deserves to know, but another part of me says, why should I torpedo our happy marriage and cause her pain for something that I didn't even enjoy and will never do again? All it did was prove to me that I want my wife more than anyone else. I want to do the right thing, but I genuinely don't know what the right thing to do is here. I know that I will never, ever stray again. Should I tell her or keep it to myself?
Okay, you already torpedoed. You already torpedoed by doing this. Also, she invited herself up to your room. I believe you invited her to your room.
Yep.
Sir.
Too late. It's already done.
I'm going up to your hotel room. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this.
Right.
I hope I say okay to that.
And he's also framing this being like, well, I stopped halfway. And it's like, not because you were guilty, but because she was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
She was bad in bed, so you stopped, and then you were like, wait.
I guess sex with my wife's pretty cool.
Which all the wonderful things you're listing about your wife is not gonna make anybody feel bad for you, King. Like, I am sure these comments are tearing him a new one, being like, you fumbled, you lost your wife, you had it. And it's your fault for not recognizing that. You don't have to go have sex with somebody else to be like, oh my God, wait, I love my wife.
So true.
Wait a minute.
I cannot believe this man wrote those words. Like, that's baffling.
Unbelievable.
Halfway through, he's there. He's just like, I understand now.
It all makes sense.
Halfway through, he's got a 20-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
He literally knew. It was like, that was exactly
It was halfway. He's like, and I think I'm done.
It's quite clear.
No,
what
it was
advice
also
is.
not halfway. That was
10 minutes,
that was
you're involved.
that was
halfway
all
would be like,
in.
I took my shirt off, and then you're like, I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, I thought it could have maybe just ended with the flirtation downstairs of like being in the hotel room and she was flirting and him being like, oh, well, yeah, you know, you're attractive too. I'm interested, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then being like, wait, what am I doing? I'm married. And
Right.
stopping there, which even in that case is wrong. Like
Yeah.
that is a whole nother case of emotional cheating. But he literally went upstairs and started having
Right.
sex with her.
Right.
Like there's
Right.
no halfway.
The second he's engaging with her in any sort of real way, but especially the second that they are walking to the hotel room
Yeah.
is, for me, it almost doesn't matter
No,
past
yeah.
that.
Right.
That's the
decided. The
decision,
decision was made.
that you made.
Yep.
And he could have stopped it there. And it still is like, you need to absolutely have a massive conversation with your wife.
Right.
And it probably is gonna be severe and suck. He's talking about it like, oh, why be honest with her? That'll torpedo. It's like, you torpedoed it.
You already
It's
torpedoed
too
it.
late.
You already torpedoed it.
Right.
It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be, there is less of a chance if you don't talk to her. I can't say it would be for this situation, but in the limited knowledge that I have on the research and stuff, is that what tends to happen when someone cheats, and it's especially with affairs, but it's like, it actually weirdly causes resentment in the cheater. Because like their partner doesn't know, and it creates this disconnect for them, and it's this rift that's gonna grow between the two of you. It's impossible to really move on from and be in any sort of real relationship.
No.
It's so disrespectful to her. How he's even contemplating not telling her
Is another sign.
Is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
This is awful.
That guilt is gonna grow inside of him like a little gross little tumor thing.
Or the lack, or it will be that issue where and it's this weird thing, I'm going to butcher this, but in psychology, doing a bad thing can actually make you worse because your brain then has to justify it.
Right.
So then your brain morphs to, that was okay for me to do, and now that's where you're at. And it's like, these things grow in ourselves. It's why you do have to acknowledge and treat things in your own head to mend it, almost like it is a wound that's inside of your own self, like a
Yeah.
moral wound, and you kind of have to be like, wait, that's wrong. I have to acknowledge that and work on that.
Right.
I think it's clear to say that this guy is only thinking about himself, not just in the cheating on his wife, but that he considers sex like incomplete or not full the way because he didn't finish.
Right.
Right. So
That
then it's not
It's entirely an act for himself.
right.
A lot of bad signs here.
Yeah.
Let's see what these comments say.
Oh, I'm excited.
This will help.
It sounds like you only regret having sex with this other woman because she was bad in bed. If this 21-year-old was incredible in bed and better than your wife in bed, would you have stopped in the middle? Someone else said, you didn't start to cheat, you cheated. Hard stop. You worded it this way to make yourself not sound bad. Let me say it again, you cheated. Don't forget that you said you didn't enjoy it because you felt she wasn't that into it. Would you have felt bad and still stopped if you thought she was great in bed? Again, you cheated. Lastly, someone said, you didn't stop because you felt bad for cheating on your wife. You stopped because you were disappointed in the sex. I think that says a lot. If she had been good in bed, you likely would have done it with no second thought. You didn't start to cheat on your wife. You cheated on your wife. She deserves to know. Don't act like you're doing her a favor by not causing her pain. Tell her you're delusional.
Incredible.
Yep. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Now that's the Reddit therapist.
Yes. All of them.
Update.
No!
Oh, I forgot that those exist. I can't wait.
Oh my God.
Here we go. I really took a beating from Reddit when I made my first post, so maybe some of you will be happy to read this update, maybe not. I was still not sure whether to tell my wife what happened or not after making the post. This is not because I'm selfish, like some of you said, but because I was struggling to find the logic in telling her something that would hurt her when she didn't need to know because it was never going to happen again. But I did also take on board what others said about how if it was them, they would want to know, and to some point I agreed with them about that. It didn't end up mattering because my wife realized something was up a few days after I got back from my work trip. As
As
happens,
it goes.
Yeah. This guy doesn't exactly scream
the people
sly.
who believe that they're going to get away with shit, you are either being able to get away with it, I think, is worse.
Insane.
Then
It's
you're
what does that-
even more.
What does it say about you?
Right.
Or two, you're not going to get away with it.
No.
Right. This guy needs to be bonked in the head with a certain kind of baguette.
Right.
My wife realized something was up after a few days after I got back from my work trip. She brought up how I'd been very quiet and seemed off ever since getting back, and she looked and sounded so worried about me that I decided in the moment to tell her. I didn't want us to have any secrets from each other. I told her everything. She didn't believe me at first. She believed I'd started to sleep with the other woman, but not that I had stopped or that the sex was bad. I showed her the Reddit post I made so she could see I wasn't just spinning her a flattering story to try and get off the hook. She started to cry while reading it and then said the sentence that has been going around and around my head 24/7 since then. I loved you so much. Loved, past tense. I asked if she could really just fall out of love so quickly, and she said yes. In the space of a few minutes, I had gone from the love of her life and the man she wanted to grow old with to just another sad man having a midlife crisis. We talked for most of the night, but she wouldn't budge. She turned down my offer of marriage counseling or counseling for just myself. I suggested we take a short week's break so she can think about things, but her mind is made up. We are filing for divorce, and in the meantime, I am sleeping in our spare room so she can remain in our marital bed. This is not how I wanted any of this to go. She is without a doubt the woman I love and the woman I will always love, and if I could go back in time, I would lock myself in my hotel room for the entire work trip and only come out for the conference. I hold hope that she might one day change her mind all the same. Our connection is too strong to be destroyed by 30 minutes of poor decision making.
It's a little more than
It's a little more than that.
It's not ordering a steak too rare. Oh God, that was so stupid.
No, I liked it. I don't want to, but like it feels like this could perhaps just genuinely be like somebody who is actually, again, just very unaware, who is, again, just like, just stupid. Just like somebody who maybe doesn't understand relationship dynamics
Yeah, the
or
weight of that.
commitment. Like, I'm not saying that
Right.
denies any of everything we've said, and I think
Right.
that the wife is completely in the right. But like, I mean, even the ridiculousness of him being like, no, honey, look, I made it public and showed everybody.
I know.
Right.
And
That's
told
crazy.
everybody. Like that's
And she was like, "You're on Reddit?"
right.
I don't love you anymore because of that.
And it's
You're a
again, it's
Redditor.
just like, okay, so there has to be something where he's just actually not getting that.
Which
Yeah.
doesn't help in his promise that he's never going to do this again.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
I hear what you're saying, and the tough thing is that this is a post written by him.
yeah.
And it's tough to know because he's in the after phase of having done this. In the phase where I think he is trying to justify it to
here.
us as much as he is his wife. So it makes me question the legitimacy of all these things.
Right, yeah.
What actually did happen between him and this woman, and then the hotel room. It's hard to know. And the problem is his wife is now in a situation of like, I thought I knew you and I don't.
Yeah.
And that's really tough. And some people I think immediately know like, oh, I know myself enough that I'm this is done.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
redeeming.
She
yeah.
thought she was married to someone who would never do this to her. And she found out, oh, I actually don't know you because that's who I thought you were. And now it's not the case.
So tragic.
Yeah, it's one of those areas where like cheating is such a weird sphere where it's like you're not a murderer,
Right.
but as far as a relationship goes, like
You've murdered the relationship.
like it's as bad as it can get before becoming full-on crime territory.
Yeah.
To me, it's one of those situations where I'm like, this is the commitment part of it, where, you know, yeah, in our life we fluctuate, we do all sorts of things, we make mistakes, whatever. But I think it's a situation to me where I'm like, this is an easy promise to make to someone and to hold of just like, look, man, this is a hardline thing, just don't do this. And I think the problem is, you know, they're 40. I wonder how long they've been married. You know, it could be many years. It could be they've been married for 15 years. So they made that promise 15 years ago, and they go, yeah, for sure, we're never going to.
I think it was 5.
Is it 5
was that
years?
a different story? Maybe I'm remembering.
Have they been married
from
for
a
about
different
5 years?
5
For
years.
5 years. They've been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long they've been together, but, you know, I think some people they get into some situations where they go, well, I'm in a situation where I've been feeling bad about myself and we haven't been talking, whatever. And they justify it. And to me, I'm just like, it's one of those where it's like, it's just make it a rule for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because it will destroy it.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter what, it's gonna be a bad outcome. Just no matter how right it might feel in the moment, just say no.
Right.
And it's important, I think, too, to establish that for yourself, right? Like,
Absolutely.
where is it in terms of your value? How much could you potentially forgive a partner if that happened to you?
Yeah.
And this woman seems pretty clear in at least following her heart in the moment of being like, I know how I feel now.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing, you're right, and it's such a case-by-case basis because I know, like, a lot of the times, too, in situations like substances can get involved, too.
Right.
And that is often an excuse of like, oh, my thinking was impaired. And it's like,
such
well,
a shitty excuse. Though.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, but yeah, I agree. I don't think I would accept that. But like in this situation, it's like the hardest that you could make this is like, you know, he realizes it right away. He does go and tell his wife. He fully apologizes and is like, I don't know what I was thinking and I was out of my mind. And then it's like, wow, what do I do? You know, like it really is just like an individual thing that you have to self-reflect and understand where you feel on it. And sometimes you don't understand until it happens to you, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that she, got out of that because he clearly is very much creating a narrative for himself that, I feel like she doesn't know him anymore. So I'm glad she's free of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To have someone tell you that they cheated on you and try to follow it up with any sort of excuse or justification, I think it would have been over either way, but it makes me wonder, had he not followed it up with all the excuses and justification, if it would have been different at all. Probably not. But it's certainly not what you want to hear.
No.
Right.
This is such an unreliable narrator
Absolutely.
right now.
Made me want to choke up.
My inclination, based on the wife's reaction, I think this is all many degrees worse than what we're getting.
Absolutely.